Hello, Dean.
Hello, I literally hit start streaming like right as you did that. It's the perfect way. The YouTube video is gonna be fire. Anyway, I'm gonna beat up for a bit. I have like 5 minutes prep I gotta do.
Okay.
All right, hello everybody. It is time for the last day of the Frostbite stream, and I am joined by Brewer once again. I do have the bracket up here. The first match is the long-awaited Snarkify Rebellion versus Qualmless Chillers match that I think a ton of people have been looking forward to. Should be a banger.
Yeah,
Brewer, do you have any expectations for this? I assume you do not know results past this point because if you
I
did, it
have
means
no
someone fucked up.
idea.
So,
I have no idea what's going to happen, anything between these matches or who's playing next. So I don't know. Um, I'm excited for this one, though, because I think SR looked really, really good in the games they played already in the tournament. And QC is coming off of a great season win and has also played pretty well so far. And I know there's a lot of friends amongst this team. There's a lot of knowledge between the two. They've played each other just before, if not in this server, just in others. Or so I don't know. It's going to be a fun matchup.
Gotcha. I am trying to pull up the draft link they used. I think they used DraftLol, and oh my god, it does not want to load. Also, they used red and blue as their team name, so I actually have no clue which side is which. So give me a second to get that pulled up. But I agree with everything you said, and I do want to mention that they had some availability issues this day, so both teams are running a roster that is slightly over points, so these aren't going to be rosters that we'll get to see run through the season, but it felt very fitting to get to see them for this tournament because it is a little bit looser on the rules, and it is this long-awaited matchup between the two teams. Rift Sharks versus Inferno will not have the same rosters, and I will not spoil what happens with the rosters going into finals. But anyway, that's a little exciting tidbit that we get to go going forward here. And since we do have an actual draft this game, I will be pulling up little previews like we do for the normal games going forward. So we should have key players and all that jazz, so should be pretty exciting. It will just take me a bit to pull that up. I will tell you the rosters, however, though. For Snarkify, it is going to be Scott Pilgrim's top. Hero is actually here to jungle this time. It's Kage mid, Hanya bot lane, and Lelouch support. Again, would not be legal normally, but we do get to see it. And for Qualmus Chillers, we have Drakkar top, Rat jungle, Jim mid, Alec bot lane, and Paul M support. Again, slightly over points, but should be very fun, and I think these two teams should be pretty damn even against each other. So it should be fun.
Yeah, that sounds fair to me. That sounds fun. I'm gonna get to see some faces we hadn't seen yet in the tournament. I think out of everyone you named, I'm really excited to see how Hero does.
And for some reason, my hold on, let me get the player highlights up correctly. These are a bit garish. But anyway, it's Frostbite. We could deal with a little horrible looking highlights. So here, let me get the screenshot for you.
There we go.
Yep. So this is actually Jim's first time playing mid, but for champions to watch, we have Cho'Gath and Gnar in the top lane. I did not realize Drakkar was 2-0 on Gnar. Rat's jungle Kindred is scary, but I think that does leave out the Kiana, which we're also pretty terrified of. Hero's Lee Sin is an obvious one. Kage's Galio being 4-0 with a 13.67 KDA is absolutely disgusting. And we have very strong bot lane champions. A bit more games for the supports, but 1-0 on both ADCs that are featured with an infinite KDA on the Ashe and a 1-0 for Hanya on the Smolder. And I will let you talk a little bit about our key matchup as we go into it. We've never seen these two players play against each other, but do you have any expectations going into this?
Expectations is that it's going to be fun. I think it'll probably be a pretty entertaining matchup. I expect and I hope that we see some exciting champions and not just kind of tank v tank. Yeah, Udyr's kind of boring, not gonna lie, but I would expect the edge would probably go to Scott just because he mains top lane. Drakkar obviously a great player and can perform well in pretty much any role, but I would probably give the edge to Scott a little bit. But at the same time, it looked like that QC was on the red side, so don't know what they did draft-wise, but red side can oftentimes secure a top lane advantage if they want it, so we'll see.
Yep, and our key player is Hanya. I do not know much about them. 11 games played, 72% win rate. Is a promising start. I believe that's 8 out of the 11 games are wins. Pretty high KDA.
Yeah.
Yuumi is on the most played champions, and that is points against, though, I fear. But
yeah, but it's 11 games, 11 champs, so that's one game of every single champ.
I did not even see that. Yeah, I think
which
that
I respect
forgives it a little bit. That is absurd. I don't know how many people did that for their Scrim Zone debut. And then we have Rat on the other side, who, on the other hand, averages about 3 games per champion, a little higher, 57% win rate, which is, reasonable with 109 games played. But Yasuo, Kiana, Ashe, Orianna, and Syndra are other ones to look out for. We got to see Kiana and Syndra already this tournament. And because we've moved on to the bracket stage, there is no longer a donation tax if you repeat a champion. So we might be more likely to see some repeats, but I am just going to kick it over to draft.
Is this a best of one or a best of what is this? Is this a best of one?
Yes, this is a best of one.
Okay.
Okay, as I said, the draft does not want to load. And they did use draft law, so this is going to be a little scuffed. We can kind of tell what the draft is, but
I can see some Kiana.
Yeah, let me just. Yeah, I think we can make it out. I'm proud of us. The 2 bans that we're not going to be able to see are Kayle and Sejuani, but who really cares about those champions? Wukong is first picked. I think it's a champion that both Hero and Drakkar would be comfortable on in the jungle, and I'm not sure if they knew the role swap was coming. The response is Kiana, given that it was left up. Jace and Sylas were banned against Drakkar in the jungle, and Rat's Syndra was banned away from mid lane. I think Zoe is still up there as a possible pick, and Zed is available, but wasn't picked here, which I think is interesting. I'm not sure Jim's comfort level on other roles, so maybe this was just a choice that had to do with that. But Paul picking up Braum for the 3rd time this tournament did pay the donation tax for it yesterday, and that is matched by a Milio Smolder bot lane, which is something we've seen a couple times, and Varus is the answer. So how do you feel about the first half of the draft so far?
I'm a little disappointed we don't get to see some Lee Sin for Hero, considering that wasn't actually banned.
Yeah, the Zed also. Both of their kind of...
I'm also a little surprised that the Kiana was left open, but you mean to ban something like Syndra over the Kiana? I'm a little surprised about that personally, but obviously they think they can deal with it. I think Wukong probably can deal with it okay. Braum's just a really strong champ on the patch, although at the same time, Braum, I think, is always vulnerable to getting put in a rough spot if you blind pick him. So I like the Milio plus Smolder answer. And then, Varus, probably just a comfortable champion for Alec. Pairs well with Braum, can build a lot of flexible ways. So, I mean, pretty even so far, I think, through the first 3.
Okay, and then moving on, Mundo is banned away, as is Kayle, and then Azir and Sejuani. I think Azir targeted at Alec. It feels like SR did not have a good read on what roles QC was going to go for, and QC does have a lot of flexibility in roles. It was a key part of their strategy last season, and I think they're going for the same thing this time around, especially if we've seen this tournament with Drakkar going top lane twice. Or it's just for this tourney. Hard to really know, but Jim is going to pick away the Galio from Kage. We already saw that is Kage's best mid lane champion by far. And Kage takes a page out of LSD Dream's book and picks the Anivia. And it is going to be a Sion versus Yone top lane matchup to finish out the draft. Scott did not get the memo that you wanted them to not play tanks, but Drakkar certainly did, and that is a much more exciting champion than the Udyr would be. But I'm just going to try and top us into game because I really don't like looking at that overlay with draft wall, but let's see.
I'm not a big fan of Galio blind pick. Obviously, I think it's a steal away from Kage, which makes some sense. And I mean, it's not terrible here by any means. I do think it can be countered, and I think the Anivia is a pretty good answer into it. So excited to see how Kage is able to pilot that. It's a pretty low range composition on the side of QC, so I think as we saw the other day when we got to watch LSD Dreams play the Anivia, if the Anivia player is very good at their positioning and their ultimate placement and their wall placement, it can make it really challenging for low-range compositions like what QC has here to pilot team fights. So I think a lot of SR's success this game will probably come down to how well the Anivia does. I think the Yone was a smart last pick. I think it will do pretty well into Sion. Curious to see how. I think early game Sion should be fine. It's more like once Yone gets some items, I think he can start to maybe bully that a little bit. But
yeah, I think
Scott with the exhaust too.
Yeah, I think Yone might have a good angle into the Smolder, but I think it is actually going to struggle decently into the Wukong and Anivia, so that could be something to watch out for. I just feel like it's trying to approach through the storm, and Wukong ultimate might be a little tough for it, but I think Rat might actually have a much easier time here. I think the Anivia wall will possibly work against you in some situations.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, with the new top lane, like role quest, Scott being able to take exhaust as well. Kind of interesting to see how much value he gets out of that this game. It's kind of it's a little fun tech. Shout out Troublelift with the Prime sub, first donation of the night. We do appreciate it.
Good catch. Thank you, and that is pushing us over the 800 threshold. So,
and you're matching, so we're at over 1,000, right?
Yeah.
Let's go.
That did get us over the edge. That's crazy stuff. I could not believe that we'd be here. I guess anyone today still has a chance to force me to match even higher than 200 bucks, but you would have to be a very generous individual to do such a thing, which we would greatly appreciate. And we have narrowed it down to 4 charities left, so these 2 teams are playing for St. Jude's and the ASPCA. So 50-50 shot that one of those 2 charities will win, and one of them is guaranteed to make the finals.
Not too much else standing out to me early. I'm excited to see how Hanya does. Had really good stats. I don't believe I've had the opportunity to get to play with them yet, so new player to me.
I feel like I might have been in 1 game with them, and I am...
Are they a Pike player,
that's happened
though?
because I would feel like a dick if I hadn't, and I said that I... or if I had, and then I said that I had it, you know? Like,
for some reason, I'm thinking they're like a Pike player, but Pike's always banned. Maybe I'm just making that up. I know somebody joined that's...
Yeah, that could be true. Someone in chat will surely help us out. I don't think this is going to be a super interesting game. I feel like Kiana's the most, like... Alright, Kiana and Wukong are the 2 champions that are able to force the hardest, and I think both of them are probably going to try and farm out the 6, is my expectation.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, SR's comp wants to play a very stable game where you're not having a bunch of random fighting, and you're going to, team fight and set up around objectives, front to back. So yeah, the game, they kind of want it to be a boring game in a sense. I think QC, to find success, will, once, Rat's online, try to make a little more chaos with the ganks, with the flanks, which he's been very good at in the past. And if he's able to get a nice backline flank and you get to have someone follow up with like something like the Galio ult, Jim, I believe that is, get to follow up, then yeah, kind of create some chaos, make it hard for SR to draw their battle lines in a sense.
Yeah, there is pretty aggressive trading coming down on the top side. I feel like if Drakard walked into tower shot range, the exhaust probably could have been enough to kill him, but Scott Pilgrim's hanging in there just a little bit. I think if Drakar hits 6 first, it could be dicey for him, but it's hard to set up a dive with that low health.
Yeah, he's already given Scott quite a bit of trouble. Created a nice little farm lead too.
Oh, good call, Guru. You were correct.
I thought so. Yeah, Kage farming evenly right now. Hasn't taken his base yet, so he hasn't got that tier purchase. We'll want to do that pretty soon so we can start stacking that tier.
Probably Roa for Anivia, I think. I'm not entirely sure.
Anivia typically will do Roa into Seraphs, yeah.
Okay.
Typically. You don't have to, but I think when you're playing into all this burst that you have with something like a Kiana and a Yone, that extra health could be very valuable. And yeah, Hero just not really respecting the fact that he's getting walked down on right now, and Kiana has the level 6 advantage, and that was weird. Hero didn't really seem that concerned with Galio walking at him, and then just kind of got chain CC'd. Interesting.
Yeah, Kiana able to get a lot of work done. Did not get the slam into the wall, but the ultimate does stun anyone who gets hit by the initial cast in the river, so that did the damage.
Kage also, interestingly enough, not actually building the tier, going straight into the Catalyst, so rushing that Rod of Ages. I'll be curious if he forgoes the tier item or if he's just late on buying it, but gonna go for that Rod of Ages like you thought.
Yeah, I feel like it's okay to just wait a little bit for tier. Rushing the Roa is nice sometimes to get an earlier power spike, although I have been warned by my team not to buy it super early so that I get a more valuable level up. But I think that's all bullshit. I like my Roa as fast as possible.
I've never heard that before. I guess that's interesting.
Well, I think it's more that it's like okay to end up like waiting a little longer. Like buying other items isn't necessarily too bad because the later levels cost more XP.
That makes sense. Yeah, I would
Jakar
certainly...
is getting exhausted here, and I think he's just going to try and get out. But now that the exhaust is expired, I think he could find an angle to get a kill on Scott. But Hero is in the area and is flashing forward. Galio ultimate coming to counter it, and a lot of ultimates are expended. Hero burning his as well. I don't think Drakar's in kill range, and I don't think they're going to be able to find the play onto Scott either. But both of them trying to force the play and get a kill for SR. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to happen. Drakar now choosing to go in. Scott Pilgrim's flashing, almost flashes into the Galio E, but is safe. Hero looking for the kill onto Jim, and I think is going to be able to find it, and it is a 1-for-1 in the top lane. But more resources expended by SR, so I think QC is a little happy with that result, especially as Kiana is able to start denying some of Hero's jungle on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, I think QC is going to be pretty happy with that once you consider the fact that Kiana's stealing jungle away. Hero's going to end up with
Paul with the knockup on the
deficit.
Lelouch flashes in to get the passive starting to stack, but I don't think it's going to work out super well, and Paul has to dash away. Both of them getting hit by the smolder, but it's not enough to find a kill on either target.
Kiana looking...
Yeah, he's looking for a play here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to find anything, especially with how full the health bars are on the bot lane. I think hoping that one of them will walk up by themselves to ward. Kiana is pathing up, looking to help out with these grubs, but I think Hero was able to take the first one and just leave, trying not to lose his life over this.
Yeah, I think they're just going to need to concede this. Hero's ultimate's not back up. Kiana's sitting there with flash and ultimate. You'd just be asking to die if you tried to fight right now.
Yeah, also just like the body language of the champions. Like, you know, QC definitely wants to try to fight there, and I think sometimes when the other team looks like they definitely want to take the fight, that's a good sign for you to not.
But unfortunately for Hero now, it's like, well, what's he going to do? He'll go farm, but all that farm's already been taken by Kiana. Might be able to grab a crab here in the river, but Kiana with an almost 30 CS lead in jungle at pre-10 minutes is pretty wild.
Yeah, that's pretty damn gross. Unluckily, Hero's team wasn't able to spot that out for him, so he had to walk down and discover that his farm had been taken by himself.
Might be able to steal away the Gromp here, but actually
good ultimate from the Bear side here, and I think Alec is just going to get the solo kill if he's able to hit the Q, which he is. Well played.
Yeah, and nice job by Alec.
Yeah, Paul's coming back in time to make sure that he can't die to the Milio. Oh, Hero looking for a play, is going to find the knockup onto Alec, but huge shield coming down with the barrier, and I think that is just going to stop the play. The Braum passive almost stacked onto Hero, and I think that would have cost him his life.
Mulder kind of getting to farm off of Galio right now. He's happy with this position.
Yeah, Lelouch is here to peel, but I don't think it's going to be super necessary. Kiana has moved forward and is trying to deny even more farm from Hero. Bit of a jungle canyon starting to form here, although I think Hero is going to be able to get most of these wolves, maybe. But Rat is going to look to steal him, slams Hero into the wall, is not able to find the stun with the ultimate, but the Yone ult is going to connect, and I think that is going to be goodbye, Hero. A sad story.
Yeah, that was a very weird, very weird. I don't know how he didn't get pushed into the wall, but hey, it didn't matter because the car came down anyway. And yeah, they're kind of just bullying him at this point.
Yeah,
never fun when you can't go into your jungle.
Comp is just taking way too long to come online. You have a bunch of scaling champions plus a Wukong who isn't, I don't think, early enough to be able to contest things by himself. So
Well,
maybe
I
they can
think
stop
they're
the
just
bleeding a little bit, but they are down 3k gold already.
yeah. I mean, they do need to scale, but also I just don't think they've played the macro as well as they could to try to avoid some of those plays. I don't think they had it in mind of trying to like protect Hero's jungle or protect him.
Yeah, Lelouch is going to use the cleanse to stay alive after the Varus ultimate, but does still get poked down. I don't think we're going to see a kill here, but it is enough to force Lelouch off the map before the dragon. Basically, all the objectives have been taken by QC so far this game. And they did start off this tournament with a loss and have not lost since then. So this would be their third consecutive win.
Yeah, they just switched their car to top and start winning.
Brewer,
I like this little setup they have.
6-7. God damn it. You motherfucker. You really just hate me, don't you?
What happened?
Okay, unless someone is impersonating you, you just tipped 143 to get it to,
I am being impersonated. There is an impersonator in the chat.
It's Rat. Or
I appreciate
you're lying.
No, I'm not. We appreciate that, though. Thank you, Rat.
Unless someone else wants to take credit for it, but I'm assuming it's that motherfucker.
Well, it wasn't me, so somebody's impersonating me.
Oh my god. Jakar able to pick up another tower plate there, and Rat is going to look for the dive, but Hero and Lelouch are both here. I'm not sure if they know that Rat's in the area. I think they're just trying to stop a potential dive, and Lelouch just gets immediately gone on in one shot. The rest of the team trying to peel down to try and help this out, but Jim is here with ultimate and is going to use it. Hero's ultimate goes through. Jakar connecting only onto the Scion, so not able to connect onto Hero. And Kage is in the area. I'm not sure he's going to be able to find anything, though. Kiana just a little too mobile. And I think Jakar might be in a little bit of trouble here taking the tower shot. Kage was in the area, but I don't think Kage knew where the snapback was for the body, so wasn't really pushing the issue to try and find a kill there. I think Rat's claim of impersonation is less valid than yours.
There's a lot of colorful characters in chat. It could have been anybody.
Yeah, Daniel did start off the chat by saying 6-7, so that could be it.
This game is starting to kind of get out of hand, though, for the side of SR.
Yeah, I mean, QC's really just turned it up. I feel like their last two games, and if this one stays this way, have all been complete stomps. Alec flashing in, is able to find a root, but it goes off after the Milia ultimate, so it isn't even able to be cleansed. And Lelouch is going to survive, but Varus got the kill that he wanted to, and with the hubris, that extra AD is going to help out with these tower plates. If they go for him, which they're choosing not to, I think they might have an inkling that Hero's in the area, but now they go forward and start to get some damage down. Rat is here to help if anything breaks out. Oh, Rat looking over the wall, gets onto the Lelouch, and boom, that's another kill. 3-0-2 so far this game. Almost dies the tower, though.
Yeah, Kiana, pretty strong right now. Playing it very well. I feel like any champion right now that builds lethality in the jungle just seems to be doing really well.
Incoming serrated Dirk nerf, I feel like.
I think I saw their
putting a lot of damage down on the Scott Pilgrims, but now just dashing into tower. 2 tower shots for fun.
Interesting.
I don't know what the decision was there, but Scion is not going to be able to punish that, so it's okay, I guess. Card does have ultimate available and is going to choose to use it now. Might have enough damage for the kill, but Scion W does give a big shield at this point in time. And Scott with a knockup, and the tower shot is invisible, but it does get the kill. So well played to Scott. Maybe we were too soon.
Yeah, I mean, Jakar took about 4 tower shots during that entire sequence, and that was all it took. Yeah, well played to Scott, picking up a shutdown.
Yeah, if Scott didn't press the R key, I think maybe Jakar gets to get away with that, which is absolutely criminal. And
Oh,
now
for
Rat
sure.
looking for the return kill onto Scott. It's going to take a while. I'm not used to this Kiana not being able to kill people in like 5 seconds, but I think Rat should eventually get it and does pick up the kill.
Does indeed. 4-0 and 2. 2 items.
Hanya caught by a root again, but the cleanse from Lelouch is there, and Paul able to block the Smolder ultimate, which helps a lot, and Hanya just loses half their health from a Varus ability. The next Q not able to connect, though, and Varus is super low health. Hero is looking for a lane gank, would be able to find the kill onto Varus, but I think the base is going to get off in time. Paul backing up a little bit, I think senses that, yeah, Hero did walk over a ward there. So Paul adjusting his recall position slightly to ensure he's safe. Nearing a 6k gold lead, but currently 5,500. The next dragon has spawned, so I think QC should make pretty quick work of it. I really don't know how SR is able to contest anything for the rest of this game, unless Smolder gets like Giga fed.
Yeah, but even if Smolder gets fed at this point, I just think the dive will be a little too much.
Yeah, I mean, Lelouch has had really good play to like cleanse the ultimates from Varus, and I feel like would be able to do the same for other CC, but it only does so much. Especially with how much CC they have on their team. Like, everyone has hard CC.
Yeah, and I mean, the Kiana ult's such an AoE that if you're trying to fight some objective, it's hard. It's pretty hard for Milio and Smolder both not get hit.
Yeah. Paul, looking for a wraparound here, is able to start stacking the passive on Kage, but there is not any follow-up. Hanya could be in a bit of trouble here. Is gonna flash the taunt from Galio, but is just gonna get Rat ulted. Gets a lot of damage down. Might be able to find a kill in return onto Rat, but misses it by about 120 HP. Not able to find it.
Pretty close
really
turnaround,
well played,
all things considered. Yeah, I didn't see that angle. He got him really low. If Galio hadn't been there, he actually could have taken that.
Yeah, Rat respecting the play. I mean, if I was in Hanya's position, that would feel like BM, but I believe these two know each other, so it's a little different.
Well, it's not BM if he said actually. You know, it'd be BM if he just said nice try. Yeah,
that's true. I feel like that actually is like more toxic to me. Like, I feel like if someone just says
you
empty, they mean it, but like, actually, you made a good play for once. Like, that's how I take it. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, normally I would tell you NT and not mean it, but this time.
I don't know, man. They didn't.
I mean,
they
I
had
would be
bans,
tilted from being down 2-10, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Lelouch in a tough spot here. Does get grabbed by the Varus ultimate. Able to cleanse it, though, but Rat has entered the fight and just looking for the bot lane.
He doesn't have aura this time.
The Scion is there. Is charging the knockup, and Paul could be in a little bit of trouble. Taking a lot of damage. Hero not able to get close enough to go in here. Does have the ultimate, and just still not really able to use it. Does go forward and still holds it, but flashes the Kiana ultimate. Really well played by Hero. Able to find the knockup, able to find the first kill of the fight. And looking for another one, but is just going to get taken down by Rat. And it is a 1-for-1 so far, but really well played by Hero, holding that ultimate until the last second and flashing over the Kiana ultimate.
Yeah, unfortunately they couldn't get the shutdown on Rat as well, but they do pick up 1 kill on Braum.
Yeah, Hanya looking for something onto the Varus. Not sure if he's going to be able to find it.
Rat's looking for another flank around here, though. You got to be a little careful if you're Hanya and Lelouch.
Yeah, Alec is forced to use the flash. Lelouch just gets tapped. And Alec finding the root down onto Scion, and Hanya is going to fall next. Galio finding the taunt onto Scion, and they could look to take this down, but I think it's a little risky. Scion's going to take a long time to kill, and not much damage is left on Rat and Alec. And Scott Pilgrim should just be able to walk this out. Choosing to walk back forward, though, really wants to kill onto Varus, and now Paul has joined the fight, but still I don't think anyone's going to be dying here. Hero is in the area, does not have ultimate though, which I think is a big chunk of his utility missing. Paul taking some damage. But now Kiana's walking towards the top lane. Maybe trying to find a play on Anivia, but more likely just taking some double camps. Don't worry, Rat. I know you meant it. I was just trolling. That was like a, I know it's sincere, but it would tilt me anyway type deal. Hania just hit the threshold. I feel like this is one of the faster Smolder stackings we've seen, but there have been a lot of fights breaking out bot lane. Jim looking for a potential wraparound here is just clearing out the vision. Could give Rat a future angle to go forward here. The Rift Herald was just dropped by blue team. One of the first objectives that they got. Lelouch has to flash away from the Galio. But well executed, but sorely going to be missing that flash later in the game. Jakar going for the ultimate on Kage under tower. I guess it didn't connect if the camera panned away.
It looks like Kage flashed.
Okay.
Uh-oh, might be in
Jakar
trouble here
going
now,
back in,
though.
and I think Kage's in big trouble. Jakar flashing, I guess the Anivia Q, although I didn't see it, but does get pulled back in time before he's able to kill the egg. But now he has to 1v1 Hero, but he is 4 levels up, so I think it should be pretty easy. The shield bow is popped, though, and the stun comes out from Kage, not able to flash that one. Lelouch trying to help out Kage here, but I think Kage is just going to fall. The snapback coming out from Jakar. Again, way too early, and Hania able to pick up a kill. Really well played by SR to group up and help out Hero and Kage there. But I think they're going to lose the dragon for it. Which is a 23.5-minute soul. Kind of disgusting. Not what you want to see.
No, not at all.
Yeah, with the dragons, I think this is about a roughly like 16k gold lead in terms of stats. The dragons and the soul give a lot of effective gold. Hero looking to get some vision. They do spot him, and that is immediately just going to get swept up.
Yeah, Nivea going for the Blackfire Torch as well. I haven't seen that. Trying to get a lot of burn damage.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense into the Galio. I'm not sure if it helps too much outside of that matchup. The Braum...
Typically, you see like a third item, Leandries, for your burn, but opted to go for that over the Seraph's Embrace. So,
yeah, Alec is losing very heavily on these trades. I think the Milio healing is going to help, but Rat has a good flank here. Paul walking into the fight super low, baiting for Rat, and Rat does just go and flip Solution to tower, and boom, that's a kill. Paul getting hit by the Smolder ult, but doesn't care too much. Is going to stay alive through that. I think it's a little hard for QC to close out on this game. I think they're going to need to pick up the Baron, and I think they want to kill a little more than Milio to feel comfortable contesting that. They don't have a super fast Baron take with Varus being lethality instead of on hit.
good point.
Oh, Jakar is looking for the kill on the Hero here, at least the red buff denial. Hero does get the red buff, but might end up dying for it, especially with Rat in the area, and Rat just goes forward, and that's going to be another kill. Though Kiana is 10-0. Alec just flashing forward, misses the ultimate, and is going to get killed for it, but I don't think Hania is long for this world either. Fat Jim does just dash into the wall there. I was going to say his summoner name, and then I said his name after it, so I just... Oh well. Hopefully he thinks it's funny. The obese diabetes is not helping me remember his scrim's name over his summoner name.
Looks like they will just be taking the Baron here.
No one complaining about no announcement. You can do it. I forgot. I was making the bracket. And yeah, there's the Baron. Now they're up 7k plus the Soul. Think they should be able to apply some pressure down mid, although it is kind of hard to siege with this composition, but I really don't know how SR can
I think
get back into this
they're
game.
so fed they can just dive.
Yeah.
And you do have some pretty good poke with Varus.
Although, I mean, if he keeps having to trade into Hania like this, it might not have so good poke. Alec is getting wiped off the map here. Hexol is helping, though. I feel like that's evening this out a little bit. And when Alex starts hitting his abilities, Hania is dropping lower than he is. I was just trying to tickle the Scion. Not very successfully, but was able to get some damage. Rat looking for a kill on the hero. Don't think he's going to find it, but holding the ultimate. This fight is just not happening. I feel like they gotta force something at some point. The Nash is gonna run out eventually. It's more than halfway over. Our chat has like completely devolved. Drakkar looking for a kill here, does have the ultimate available but not using it. Kiana and Galio are able to force down a tower in the top lane. They've gotten to 3 so far this game. They will need to take a bit more than that to secure the win. Drakkar is dashing in, still has the ultimate, still chooses not to use it. Eventually Scott will be in kill range. And they are able to take down the mid turret as well, I believe. Alec trying to get a lot of damage down onto it. Yone able to get the one on bot side. This is just a very slow but consistent siege. Is their 3rd turret with the Nash, and they should be able to take a 4th down. There are 4 cannon minions sitting the tower, so I hope they'd be able to kill it. Drakkar is slowed by the Anivia and the Scion and just burns the ultimate to get out, but Hero is right there after the ultimate lands. Will have the second cast of the ultimate if he's able to get into range to find it on Drakkar, but Drakkar using the E, trying to stall this out. Paul is there to help him, but he is just able to stack Q3, pull back, and get over the wall. And they should be able to secure this Elder, but with Yone not at full health and down to flash and ultimate, maybe this could be the angle for SR, but I think missing Wukong ultimate is too impactful for them to have an easy shot.
I agree with you again, Dean. But hey, try to flip an Elder. What better chance do you have?
That's true. The minions are taking their inhibitor as we speak, though.
And I mean, you do have a fairly strong Smolder at this point.
Yeah, but Varus just hit 3 of your team with a Q. It's not looking good. Rat looking for a flank around the back of the pit. Scion ultimate is going to be their initiation. Hania dropping low. Lelouch is bunched up there, and the Kiana ult is going to find 2. Hero able to dodge out with the Wukong clone, but that is going to be 2 kills to Drakkar, 2 kills to Rat, and they should be able to find the 3rd one on the back of the fight. Kage is going to fall down to one of them, and it is going to be Rat picking up the 3rd of the fight, and that is a 14-0 for Kiana angle. Drakkar does not want to screw around and try and get this dragon, just TPs into base. Galio going to follow suit, and I think this should be the game. They have a 15-second window uncontested to do this, and they have Elder as an insurance policy.
Well, I'm going to say what we're all thinking. That game was ass. I mean, just belt to ass. Well done by QC. Absolute smacking. I don't know, man. We left open Kiana when we have bans. I don't know. They asked for it, I guess. Hopefully the next one is a little closer.
Yeah, I don't know. That was rough. I do not know how to feel about that one. We've seen QC play, I think literally we've watched all 3 QC games in a row, and they've all been absolute stomps. So we will see how finals goes for them. They will be taking ASPCA into finals representation. So if that's the charity that you are hoping to donate to, that is good luck for you.
I do like pets, so
As do
shout
I.
out.
My team is playing for a different kind of animal, though, and we will get to see us in the next game. We are playing for the Marine Megafauna Foundation, so that supports whale sharks, manta rays, and sea turtles mainly, but I think a variety of aquatic life.
I will say I am very excited to see more of those two teams facing each other, particularly once the
Hell
actual season
yes.
starts. I think that'll be a really fun series, and I think it will look a lot different when both teams are playing their main rosters. I think it'll probably be a lot closer, so should be
Yeah,
fun.
this is one of those times where I'm like, ah, it's really sucks that we aren't able to do double round robin. I like wish we could. We do not have a great track record when it comes to scheduling though, so it is a little rough. But as we, I just can't cancel. I was gonna say we can now see the updated bracket. But yeah, QC has advanced, and now it is Rift Sharks versus Albert's Inferno. Albert's Inferno actually had a lot come up last minute when they were trying to get their roster together for this game. So they had two subs. They had Archived come on as a sub about 2 hours before the game, and then Blake joined as a sub about 30 minutes before the game. So a little unfortunate. Blake tipping $1. Wants it to be
Thank you,
804,
Blake. We do
67.
appreciate it.
He just wants it to stay
Come
at
on, guys,
670.
get us to 1,000. Let's do it.
True. That would be amazing. I'd be blown away. I will check our exact rosters though, because I'm not 100% sure on it. I do know that I was benched for this game.
I'd hope you'd know that, considering you're the person deciding.
Hey, maybe I blacked out and don't remember this game. Anything is possible. But yeah, both of these teams did end up going 2-0 during the Swiss stage. Albert's Inferno's roster is going to be Blake and then Draco moving over to jungle for this game. And then Omar mid, Archived bot, and Jeremy is finally coming in. Did not play during the Swiss stage, but did make it for this.
Wait, the roster is who? Sorry, start over?
Blake and Archived are subbing. So it's Blake,
Okay,
Draco,
okay,
Omar, Archived, Jeremy. And Rift Sharks is running Chow, Fishy, Giraffe, Evan, and Frentic.
Gotcha. So basically, Rift Sharks main roster versus this tag team of fun Alberts plus Blake's team.
Yes, pretty much.
Let's see it.
Okay, give me a few seconds because I am going to need to swap over to the new version of the Scrims cast, which is not going to have the overlay on it, so hold off on any donations just for a bit. I don't want you to donate and not get to see it pop up, and apologies for this stream looking scuffed for a little bit. We have real drafts being done now, so and if I can remember how big the font was for the donations, that would be preferable. Oh, it was not that small. Maybe it was... Yeah, I think that was right. Okay, and then let me go back and grab the overlay. And apologies again for this work in progress as we move over to the new, what's it called? The new draft stuff. But I should be able to add this to each of the scenes as we go. Ignore that real quick. And there we go. Okay, I think I just do that. Okay, I think that should be okay. If anything comes up, that is a little unfortunate, but we will do what we can. And let me just take a little bit to get the bracket back up. Then we should be good to go. I had forgotten about this part of things. But it should mean a good experience for the draft. And then this is not correct. Do not look at this. I'm just trying to get the stream overlay on here. Okay, and then I actually have no clue what this is from. This is probably a Bilgewater draft. Okay, and then okay, here is the real draft link that I will not show yet because we're not supposed to look at it yet. Okay, but anyway, highlight slideshow should be ready, and the bracket is over it, which is not intentional. But anyway, key player for Inferno is going to be Blake. That is my bad for picking a player that isn't actually on the team, but oh well, it happens. But anyway, his most... Oh, and I didn't pause it. Okay, so Blake's most played champions are Gangplank Alawi, Yone, Garen, and Malphite, though he has been playing Neferi recently, played it both times in the Swiss stage, but 335 games played, 53% win rate, and 70 different champions. Very impressive. And going over to Giraffe on Rift Sharks, he joined this season, I'm pretty sure, and has already played 67 games.
Yeah.
Laugh it up. Good one, guys. 55% win rate, which is very impressive. And 26 different champions. His most played are Jace, Corki, Kog'Maw, Cassio, and Orianna. But moving over, this is not right. Okay,
That's
really
Bilgewater.
rushed this. Here we go. Champions to watch. Here's what I want your opinion on. What should we really looking out for here?
So to me, I think this Rift Sharks lineup that I've got to see a good amount of really hinges to me on Fishy's performance. I think Giraffe's going to do well. I think everybody else does pretty well. But I think Fishy's been kind of the big standout. And so I'm curious to see if they'll take him off of his comfort champs. Obviously, Lilia's like the most popular one for him. Probably going to see that banned. But then I do think right behind that, something like the Hecarim, as shown right there, really, really strong stats. So I'm curious if they'll try to really pinch his pool or just take him off the Lilia and try to deal with something else. With Giraffe, you can try to ban some of the control mages, but he's going to get one that he's comfortable on and do well. So, sometimes I think it's like, is it worth banning one if he's just going to pick a different champ and still do really well? I don't know. You see Chow up there, 6-1 on that Maokai looking super comfortable. Frantic with a 91 KDA on this Milio 5-0. That's pretty wild.
I did not know that.
That's pretty freaking wild.
Yeah, both.
And then on the other side, go ahead.
Yeah, both ADCs actually having Hui as their featured champion, I think is a little interesting. I am expecting to see some level of prio on it. I think more for Archive than for Evan, but we will have to see how that goes forward. But feel free to continue what you were saying.
On the other side, yeah, Blake's got kind of an interesting champion pool. We'll see if he tries to stick on this Neferi that he seems to be kind of favoring. Given the fact that it's not blind pick and he kind of can pick based on what he's seeing, I'm sure he'll probably just kind of pick more towards the draft. Something like the Garen, we saw Lispy pilot that to great success earlier in this tournament, so maybe you could look for something like that. Don't really know too much about Draco's jungle. I mean, you see 3-0 on Skarner. That's obviously a good option. Omar has a really wide champion pool. Jeremy's going to play some sort of an enchanter most likely, and then Archive seems to really like the Way and also seems to really like Xayah from my knowledge, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it should be interesting. I obviously know what the draft is, so I don't want to talk too much. The key matchup is going to be Draco versus Fishy in the jungle. Another one that we haven't seen before, but I think this is exciting because Draco hasn't played jungle too much. We know 3 of those 10 games are on Skarner, but we also see games on Shyvana, Amumu, Cho'Gath, and Bel'Veth. So it should be interesting to see what actually comes down. Besides the ones you mentioned, Kayn, Talon, and Xin are very high up there for Fishy. Lilia obviously is the #1 priority pick, but it is likely to be banned. And I will just kick us over to draft. I think some of the things we mentioned came true. Some of them did not. We did see the 2 control mage bans against draft, which is what we expected. Hui and Neferi banned away, which were also champions that were talked about, and the Lilia is removed. But I will let you talk about the first 6 picks that we see come through here. I think the pick from Jeremy, the Lulu, was expected, but I think everything else... Oh, I guess the Milio also is something we touched on from Frantic, but the rest of the picks weren't things that we had brought up necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jinx is obviously a pretty comfortable, strong... You can take that early if you want to get your 80 carry. Evan's been playing a lot of the Smolder. Frantic got his most comfortable champ, at least stats-wise, so far in the server. Bel'Veth is kind of interesting to me. Um, haven't seen very much Belveth lately, so curious to see how that'll do. Also, like taking it kind of blind in the sense that you don't know any of the topside champions. And they answer with a Cho'Gath. And then what kind of stands out to me is you then see you see a Hecarim ban and a Jace ban, probably for Jace jungle. I don't think they're
Oh,
knowers. I
I
would
would
bet
guess
my
that
life
the
that that's
Jace
Cho'Gath
is
jungle.
the Jace is
But
probably
yeah,
against Giraffe because it's his most played champion in the server.
that's
But
fair. But they banning Hecarim, I would bet my life that's going to be Cho'Gath jungle. So we'll see. But it is a little bit of a flex pick. Um, Interestingly enough, they then just settle on the Corgi, which you ban the Jace, but if Giraffe wants to play an AD champion, he's very comfortable on the Corgi as well. So you take that. Then Jarvan, Talia. Talia, not a terrible answer into Corgi. Does kind of get outranged with the poke later, but can sometimes catch the Corgi out if you have someone else to like CC to set up with. Um, so I guess it's either Jarvan or Belveth top though. That's kind of weird. Not too sure what to expect out of that. And then
yeah, I mean,
Gragas
Blake.
last pick.
Yeah, Blake is in this game, so I think things being weird is to be expected. I think we're kind of playing to expectations in this draft, but I will kick it over to in game. Do you mind if I go eat during the first part of this game because I have seen it already?
I don't mind, but we'll see what happens. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll try and be quick.
All right, so we do actually get the Jarvan top lane. That's kind of fun. Taking Ignite, taking Electrocute. Going to be looking very aggressively with that pick. I do think the Gragas is a pretty good answer. Gragas Body Slam is kind of going to be an issue for Blake, I would think, if Chow's able to time that well and has Ignite himself. So I expect we see a solo kill one way or the other in top lane. Jungle, like I said, I haven't seen Belveth in so long. I know the champ typically wants to fight early. It's pretty strong in skirmishes, so we'll see what Draco's able to make happen. I think Cho'Gath jungle's kind of OP right now. If you can survive like the little bit of time in which you're weak in the early game. I've personally seen Fishy play it. I guess it's leaked, but I've played against him in scrims on that champion, and he's very good at it. And I think it pairs well with their team composition. And then the other lanes, a lot of scaling, a lot of farming. Probably shouldn't see kills in either mid or bot unless jungle shows up, but we'll see. Giraffe certainly knows how to maximize his damage output in lane. So if Omar's not on top of it, could potentially look for something there. And actually took the heal on Corki, which that's kind of interesting to me as well. You don't see heal taken too often anymore. I'd be a little curious what his mindset was with that. Does anybody that doesn't know what happens here have any predictions on the game they want to share in chat? To me, kind of favoring Rift draft. I think it's going to be kind of hard for Inferno to reach the backline carries as we get later in the game. Yes, you do have Jarvan, but to me it kind of seems like a composition where Jarvan is going to kind of be going it alone. I think it's going to be difficult for Belveth to actually follow up, and I'm afraid if Jarvan goes in alone, both the carries have self-peel with their movement abilities, and on top of that, you're going to have Milios sitting back there with heals and shields. So, kind of favoring Rift Sharks right now. But this is what you want to see out of Draco, looking for a very early dive here potentially. If they can get this wave in, Chow is low on health and really low on mana. Mana in particular being the concerning part. Might not have enough mana to get a body slam off. I'm not 100% sure. Definitely not enough mana to get a body slam off now. Does have flash. Can they execute this dive? And very well done. I really liked that out of them. You know, Draco never showed until Blake already went in with the knockup, so Chow just wasn't already thinking to like try to preemptively flash. And really well executed dive. It's exactly what you need to be doing if you're picking something like the Belveth. Good trading coming out from Omar actually, getting Giraffe kind of low. He does have the heal, but Giraffe in kind of an awkward spot here. Doesn't have teleport, so gonna take a base here. You know, with the new season, you get back to lane a little bit faster, so not having teleport not quite as punishing, but pretty good stuff out of Omar so far. Excuse me. Blake looking very aggressively here, starting to do quite a bit of damage onto Chow, maybe a kill. Can he get the Q? Oh, flashes forward for it too. Wow, I like that. Flashing so that even when Chow flashes, you're still in range. Really good stuff out of Blake here, and that first dive turning into a solo kill is really good stuff for the side of Inferno. Exactly what you need if you're going to pick something that's kind of a little bit, I don't know if cheesy is the right word, but a little bit aggressive, a little bit fun. You certainly don't just want to try to go even with something like the Gragas top, and good stuff out of Blake. You know, I was saying that it would be difficult for him to, you know, do stuff in backline by himself, but if he gets fed enough, he could certainly potentially look to get a lot of damage down if he goes backline. Really good sidestep there by Giraffe, manages to win that trade pretty heavily, although sticking around taking a few extra Qs kind of evens it out for Omar. As you can see, Fishy is opting for some early AP on the Cho'Gath. I assume what he'll do is, oh, we may have a kill here. Giraffe looking super aggressively. Blake also looking super aggressive. And that is going to be another kill top, and Omar managed to get away without burning his flash, so credit to him there, and we'll just get the TP back. So Omar, all things considered, really not in a bad spot there. Even gets out Giraffe's heal, so well played by Omar. And Blake just kind of starting to take over. Still has the Ignite, didn't even have to use that there. But what I was trying to get at was, you know, if the Jarvan gets fed enough, you know, he very well may be able to just find solo kills onto the back line. Going to be really interesting to see what kind of build Blake goes for here. Evan just not respecting the fact that Frentic went to the other, went to the river, and pretty uncharacteristic mistake from Evan so far this tournament. I thought he's been playing pretty cleanly so far, but there's kind of a mental lapse there. Did not respect the fact that he was alone, and kind of gives over a free one to Archived. Burns both summoners, and no summoners were used on the side of Inferno, so that's really good stuff for the Jinx. And that was before Jinx had even base, so Jinx getting a really nice first base off here. That was a good gank attempt mid by Fishy. Burns Omar's flash. Gonna have to see if he can find a good re-gank. Pretty good flip though. Omar might have potential to run Giraffe down here. Giraffe may have to flash. Giraffe will have to flash. Yeah. Well done by Omar there to secure a summoner back in return. I like how he's playing this out so far. Although I'm afraid with Fishy here, that is going to be a nom 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 nom. Hope you guys like my Cho'Gath ult sound. Although he didn't actually have the ult, so instead he just whacked him. Although if Draco can find a kill back here, good punish. And so Omar's, you know, nice job drawing that out allows Draco to make it a 1-for-1, and 2-0 top, 2-0 jungle for the side of Alberts, 1-0 bot lane. I think you gotta be pretty happy with how this game has started for them. Uh-oh. Both top players getting incredibly low, but unfortunately for Chow, it's the other jungler that made their way up here, and this should just be another kill for Draco. I did not know Draco had a Bel'Veth in their bag. I'm really, really liking it. It's a fun pick. Although I do feel like the thing with Bel'Veth is, how do you play out the mid game? How do you play out the late game? I think that can sometimes be the more difficult aspect of the champion. So I'm glad that Draco has secured an early lead, but going to be really curious to see how they're able to transition it. And pretty sizable CS lead in top too. 24 CS lead. Giraffe has opened up a 13 CS lead in mid, doing well himself. No surprise there. Man, and Chow is just not able to find these body slams to interrupt the Gragas dash through. I'm thinking if maybe he could try to time one. I'm not sure if that would turn those around very much, but Blake is kind of getting every knockup right now. Does it again. Big damage. Wow. And flashes forward. Chow didn't even have enough time to use his ultimate there. 0-5 on the Gragas. That is a rough start. And, you know, it all goes back to that initial dive that I thought they executed so well. And just from there, Blake has never looked back. Looking really good on this Jarvan top lane pick. Blind pick, no less. I mean, you got to remember the Gragas was the R5. So, I mean, Chow had his choice of champion into all 5 members and opted for this Gragas and just kind of struggling so far. Really impressed by Blake here. He picks up that Hydra. The wave clears online. Now, what I would like to see is Blake eventually look to try to transition his lead a little bit. Maybe find a roam down mid. Oh, flashing forward from Draco here.
Getting a lot of damage down, and this ultimate from Omar should secure the kill onto Giraffe, and he is just going to get flicked into the rocks and kill credit going over to Draco.
I absolutely love what I'm seeing from Draco this game. Playing so aggressively, so confident. Like, you could have just taken, you know, the dash away there, but just knows that if they flash forward and find that knockup, they can chase it down, and really well executed. I mean, I was not expecting an 8-1 lead here, and just really great stuff. Although Draco may have bit off more than they can chew. That's going to be a nom 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 nom. Cho'Gath got a fatty. Fat shutdown, eating good. And as I said earlier, it's not looking great for Rift Sharks, but if I was going to point at something that would go well for them, it's the Cho'Gath, and he has managed to get 2 kills. Is actually appearing to look for another AP item, so really excited to see what fish he chooses to build from here. I do think you're going to want to get some tankiness at some point, just given all the damage on the other side. You don't want to be able to get blown up by Jarvan yourself. Has no eat here, but
Archive just stealing away the ultimate. Did about 10-20. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a ton of damage. No smite, no feast available, and that's just and that's a solo kill though.
Able to find the solo. I actually Fishy requested me to go back and figure out what happened here because he thought he might have smited early. I mean, if he did do that, it's a little embarrassing, and I feel like an ass for showing this off. But
yeah, it appears he just smited it right at the same frame that the Jinx rocket landed, and that made the difference there.
Yeah, a little unfortunate. And we do get to watch the replay of the fight mid. Good flick from Omar. Unfortunately, Giraffe had already dashed through the rock he flicked him on, so it didn't stun him a second time.
Exactly. And just kind of took a greedy path there back from Dragon.
Draco here, and I think Draco might be able to find a kill if they can gap close, but Giraffe's spacing really well and is going to find another kill here.
Yeah, not who you're wanting to see these kills going on right now, but Corki is now pretty strong, as is the Cho'Gath.
Yeah,
and they are bringing the gold back. Game getting closer, yeah.
Yeah. I would say Inferno's, or Albert's Nutbuster's lead is not super significant, but it is still present.
The New York Inferno.
Oh, that's much better. I should be fired, especially because Albert has been playing. Ooh, I hope we did not receive any donations because I forgot to put the stream overlay here. I will get to see them if they came through, but apologies for that. Blake trading super heavily into Chow has had a lot of success in this lane so far. Might be able to find another kill. Actually goes in, drops the ultimate, and is just able to find a solo kill.
Like the 4th solo kill of the game.
God fucking hate lethality Jarvan top.
You know, I think the Gragas makes sense. He's just gotten so far behind at this point that the damage is just too much to deal with right now.
Yeah, Fishy trying his best to defend tower here is actually able to hold off 3 members of Inferno, which is pretty good. Evan dropping down a little bit here, and now Frentic is the target, has to flash. He's got a range. Evan healing himself, but not really hitting onto anyone else in the lane. Giraffe is caught here. He is in the middle of 4 people. Does flash away from the Talia flick. Ooh. Trying to find the kill into Draco, but Draco had 2 dashes left in that direction. Is just able to get out really quickly. Archived falling down a little low, but is pretty much safe from everyone else. Evan looking for the kill. Does not have the ultimate anymore. Did just use it. And Fishy trying to get in, but is flicked out. Not sure he's going to be able to find anything. Does Proto Belt in for the gap close, but still just not enough.
I'm a little surprised Evan didn't just flash in there knowing the man, but ends up being a pretty good play for Inferno. And I really like the position they're in. I think, man, I can see it being really hard for Riftworks to actually challenge them in some of these fights, especially because, you know, your carries are fairly strong, and, you know, Lulu hasn't even really been involved in many of the plays yet. And you add a Lulu buffing up a champion like Bel'Veth, I think it could end up being really difficult for Riftworks to deal with. Not sure though. Maybe
downstairs. I'll BRB.
Okay. Here's the roam I've been waiting for. I was wondering if Blake was going to find an angle to go down, but really actually messes it up there and has to burn his own flash. Yeah, I don't have that much to donate, Blake, unfortunately. Oh, wow, really well played by Archive. Just gonna find that chip damage and then finish him off with the ultimate. And that's Blake just said, hey, doesn't work the first time, I'm gonna come right back. That's Blake. That's the Blake we like and know. And that's what I was hoping for. You gotta see that roam down. Try to punish Giraffe. Didn't have flash, didn't have heal. Good kill. And 2 items already on the Jarvan. Has the completed Axiom arc. He is doing damage.
Yeah, he decided to show up and obliterate my team after we we beat them previously. Definitely coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah, definitely a sub you're happy to have.
Come back with the Cho'Gath and the Corki, though. I think that gold on those 2 champions is going to be pretty scary.
You know, I've seen firsthand the power that Fishy's Cho'Gath can bring once it starts to scale. But I do think you have pretty good frontline killing members with a Jinx, with a Talia. Although I think I'm about to get to say nom 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 nom. Not enough though. Oh, but he does end up getting sniped. Was not able to flash out of that. And good job by Giraffe sniping that and kind of getting the trade back. And you do have that completed item now for Fishy, though, has that second item, the Rift Maker.
And Draco continuing to have really good objective pressure this game. Has gotten 3 out of the 4. 1 going over to Fishy at the beginning of the game. Or actually, credit to Archive for the second drag, but Draco having really good topside pressure, which is exactly what you want with Bel'Veth. So,
yeah, I will say, you know, credit to Blake playing an extremely good game as a sub here, but Archived also playing a great game slotting in here. Uh-oh, Blake may have bit off a little more than he wants to chew.
He almost just one-shots Giraffe. Is going to get it with the Ignite, I believe.
Yeah, Frentic not able to get in range of a shield.
I mean, that's pretty much the strongest member of both teams taken out before this fight, so it's up to, I feel like, Fishy on Riftsharks to make an impact here. Ultimate was burned to try and get the kill into Lulu, but Lulu ultimate and heal both came down and caused it to miss. And objective is going over to Albert's Inferno. Okay, Noam is saying that I'm scared of Blake. If I knew it was Blake, I would have played. I decided the roster once I knew my opponent, not once I knew their roster. Blake got subbed in 30 minutes before.
That sounds like something somebody who's scared of Blake would say.
Oh my fucking god. I ran myself into Blake in playoffs last season.
Bush can't be here. I'm afraid I'm about to get to go nom 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 nom, eating them up.
Yeah, just with the one shot onto Omar.
This Cho'Gath champ is
with
great,
the
guys.
Excited moving forward, not able to find anything additional there, but able to get the tower down. And Rift Herald is now deployed, so they could find an angle for another tower, but it might just get taken down. Draco losing half their health and just immediately flashes out there. Okay, I have receipts from before this conversation if anyone wants to validate any of this.
Jeremy running a giraffe here, I'm not really sure that's a great idea.
Ton of damage and yeah, just gets one shot. NT.
And that's an unfortunate way to have your first death of the game right there. Did not realize the giraffe had quite that much damage. Has completed the Infinity Edge though. That's an insanely strong 2-item spike.
Yeah, the buff to crit damage overall I think is a huge help to Porky. Oh my fucking god. Giraffe is like opposing me. In chat. My own team betraying me. You know what, Giraffe? You're benched. Bullshit, I say. We're running chaos in the first. And I'll spin the narrative in Twitch chat that you were scared of whatever mid laner we're playing against. Giraffe is going in, finds a lot of damage on Omar. It's not enough. This time the Lulu is helping a bit more. Giraffe narrowly missing the snipe there, not able to find a kill, and is getting mobbed on by Jinx and Lulu at the same time, and Bel'Veth's here to follow up. It is going to be a scary day for Porky. Able to dodge most of the skill shots, and flashes the Jarvan ultimate, so is fine, but Chow walked in to try and help out, and is just going to get taken down. Really well played from Giraffe to survive there, but unfortunately Chow, a noble sacrifice.
Yeah, does time the flash well enough to not die himself, but that does result in Chow's death this game. I'm getting close to that second item on Jinx. I think once you get that Infinity Edge completed, that'll be a pretty nice power spike for Archive. I think Archive must be sitting on some gold. I'm surprised they don't have it already. Just looking at what Evan's
Archive is
managed to
on
complete.
1600.
Yeah.
Evan already has completed the second item, but I think the Smolder's a little less scary at this point in the game, not having stacks yet. 183, not super close either. Bel'Veth looking to find a play onto Evan, and Evan just does not get to see this. Although the dash from Bel'Veth does end up missing. Evan not able to make it over the wall, though, does get canceled, and should just be taken down here, except Fishy shows up just a little too late. But Fishy, Hella Blades proc, is not able to secure the kill there. And now Draco trying to run away. Chow's in the area too, and Milio on the other side should be able to get a kick in order to secure the kill onto Draco. Does not use the Q yet, and does finally use it, but it is going to miss. And I think Draco should just get out here.
Wow, well played by Draco, managing to get out there. And
Frederick
really good
flicked into the rocks and does
kill
have to flash.
Wow. What looked like a 100% dead Draco ended up kind of working out better for them. Did not see that coming.
I refuse to comment on this play. Frederick had a
Which
good
play?
reason for not using the kick, but
What's the reason? I can't think of one.
He was trying to give the kill over to one of them, but it was unfortunate.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Okay, he says it's not a good reason, and I agree, but I was trying to be nice, so it is what it is. Game is still pretty close. Oh, it is a 4K gold deficit, so not exactly what you want to see. Ripsharks has a chance to contest the dragon here, is going over the wall. Fishy kind of phased through the Talia wall, but Giraffe goes over with the blast cone and immediately gets popped, and Fishy is just going to get taken down on the back of this. And now Jinx has resets and is looking for more kills in this fight. Evan dying to Blake on the back of the fight. Might be able to make it to the blast cone, but Blake held his ultimate and is able to take that out, and that is a triple kill for Inferno, and they should be able to clean out the ace. One more kill going over to Talia and one more kill going over to Bel'Veth, and that is a clean ace for Albert's Inferno, and they just doubled their gold lead, basically.
Wow. Really good fight for the side of Alberts, and they were finally kind of able to just burn Fishy down in a team fight. Didn't have the ability to really get any big damage off there, and just a nice setup and a nice play.
Yeah, and this is a pretty uncontestable Nash with all the members of Ripsharks dead and just not enough TPs available to be able to do anything. Draco falling down super low is just farming off the Scuttle Crab in order to have enough to take down the Nash, but the evolved form for Bel'Veth is going to be massive at this point in the game.
I'm just super impressed with what we're seeing from Inferno. Just really good stuff from all the members right now.
Yeah, I don't know how often we're actually going to see Draco be playing jungle during the season, but clearly this is a good backup option. I mean, going 7-3 on a champion that isn't even their most comfortable, I think, is super impressive. So
yeah, against Fishy, no less. Who I mean, I consider Fishy to be one of the better junglers. I mean, really strong player. So, just on Bel'Veth, no less, a champion that's not popular, that's kind of have to play a certain way. Doing really, really well so far, and set up, I mean, the entire game when they found that initial first dive onto a Chow, and they just kind of never looked back after blowing that lane open.
Yeah, I do want to say I think this bodes well for New York Nutbusters as well. That's a team that went 0-2 in this tournament, but their two members in this game are 10-1 combined. So I think maybe a team that people might be overlooking because of their initial performance in this tournament, but I think they have a lot going for them. As shown here.
Yeah, I do like seeing a nice bounce back by Archived, because I didn't think that they showed their best performances in their team's games, and I've seen them play a lot better, so not surprised to see a strong performance here on a champion like the Jinx, and it's good to see.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this Jinx is fairly meta-defining at this point. I feel like we've seen it do pretty well in all the games it's been in. I feel like the 6 items over to the Jinx are very helpful. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if that stays true, or maybe Jinx will get nerfs on the patch, but it's kind of hard to tell. But not to leak my scrims either, but the ones that I've been in, I feel like Jinx has had a lot of presence, and it's been good when Jinx has gone through. So a champion I expect to see a lot of. I hope we see less of the Smolder. It was already very high priority last season. I'm good without another season of that, but time will tell.
Yeah, it's so boring. I'm not a fan of the Smolder in my games, my team or the enemies, but I'm afraid it's going to continue to be popular. It is just a popular champion. Let's see what we have here. If you're the side of Ripsharks right now, you are in a pretty big hole. You got to try to get another item maybe on your carries and see if you can find a good team fight. But that's an amazing flip.
Gets caught out and just gets taken down. Looking for a ward.
Evan does have the execute now, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. And Blake just being so patient there, goes over the wall, doesn't even use the ultimate, chooses to just hold that, says, hey, I'll go back over the wall, we'll reset, and I assume he'll try to find another angle, potentially onto the Corki here, where he does look to kind of use everything. Really like that patience there.
Yeah, and Ripshark's having to fight down 10k here, down a couple dragons. It is not fun for them. But health bars for Inferno are low, so they might look to take a base here and then come back later. Draco just getting to work on this tower. Just took, I think, 4 plates. I don't think it had any damage to it before. They are looking to cut him off, but Omar with the wall to protect the members of his team against the Ripsharks. Just a reminder, these two teams are playing for the PCRF over on the side of Albert's Inferno, and the Ripsharks are playing for the Marine Megafauna Foundation. And by the way it's looking, it seems like Inferno might get to take PCRF to the finals, but Ripsharks could always bring their charity to the finals if they're able to stage a comeback here.
Yeah, maybe you can find a really good Gragas cask onto one of these carries. They are all a little bit of a
angle, goes in and hits 3 people with the Cataclysm, and Chow getting flicked in. Evan trying to keep himself alive, but the Q rocket from Jinx is going to take out Frentic as collateral damage.
Absolutely massive ultimate by Blake there, and a nice job of Archive from kind of following that up at range and getting a lot of splash damage off with the Jinx. Oh, it's another super close flick too by Omar. Has the Rylai's completed, so those slows on any Talia abilities makes it really difficult for the front line of Rift Sharks to play.
And Bel'Veth just focusing on the dragon, trying to get the Mountain Soul, and I think that will make the game nigh unplayable. It's a very good soul to have into a double poke composition like what Rift Sharks has, and Gragas Barrels I think get lumped in the same category, so almost a triple poke comp at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just a rough game from Rift Sharks so far. I mean, all the positives have been really just when Fishy and Giraffe were able to kind of find smaller plays. I mean, you have 0 KP on the Gragas and 0 KP on the Milio right now. Just have not been able to get any like positive plays once everyone started to group, and it's kind of an uncharacteristically rough showing for Chow, and it's just made it really difficult for them to find any sort of good team fight.
Yeah, I mean, I will accept the harsh judgment of my team. I think it's a fair read. It was a rough game for us, for sure. You know, until 3 minutes from now when we stage the most epic comeback of all time. Up to you to determine. I'm not
counting you out. I'm not counting you out just yet. Jinx with that third item now as well. I don't know the name of that one yet, but has the completed third item.
The long range one, Hex Optics C44.
That does sound like it would be pretty good with Jinx.
Yeah, I think it is part of the reason that she's so disgusting.
Corki on 3 items as well here is doing a pretty good amount of damage, baiting a little bit for his team.
Get the knockup, and that is a shutdown going over to Giraffe.
Yeah, kind of baits Draco out right there. Wasn't counting on Fishy to be behind with a knockup, although Blake is on his way and may be able to, you know, trade one back. They know Giraffe's in that bush, but not able to get there in time and find a cancel. So really good 1 for 0 there. Jeremy, I'm not sure if you want to walk right there, my friend. And I'm afraid I'm going to go nom nom nom. Okay, has to flash instead, but
flash, yeah.
We were close to a chomp right there. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Slam dunk by the Jarvan. Cataclysm is going to claim another victim, and Blake is just going to be able to flag and drag out of there. And
Blake just kind of put it on Giraffe's head right there.
Yeah, I feel like the
you can't see me, but I'm doing the tap on your head thing on his head. Well done by Blake.
Yeah, it is a little disgusting that Blake's able to go in and be tanky enough that he isn't even taking damage after doing something like that.
Well, he's not even that tanky, it's just no one's there to hit him back at that point because he's killed the damage dealer. I do think the Jarvan build is squishy, but the problem is no one can really tank him right now. And I guess when you consider the fact that he's getting a Mountain Soul, he's not quite as squishy as he otherwise would be. And they will just pick up the Baron here, and I suspect they'll be able to close this game out on this Baron push. Yeah, I mean, to me, something with like lethality Jarvan, like, it's impressive to like get a lead and to be out of an advantage, but what's more impressive to me is not throwing the advantage, because the champion does a lot of damage, but his weakness is, when you build like this, is that you are squishy in your own right. The fact that he has found 17 KP with only a single death, that's really good stuff. That means he knows his limits, isn't oversending it, isn't throwing his advantage. And I think that's really the more impressive part.
The nice 126 CS Flame Horizon here. He is kind of giga chilling this game.
It's kind of just a classic Blake performance. Picks a champion nobody else would play and just gives it to you. Nice to see that he can still do it in the year 2026.
He's like a 73 now. It's a small miracle. His arthritis meds kicked in.
Hey, it gives me hope that, you know, maybe there's still a good game in there for all of us old people. Yeah, I'm afraid they're just going to close it out here. I'm not sure how they're going to be able to respond if Blake decides to just look for a flash engage onto either Evan or Giraffe.
Yeah, Blake sitting with every cooldown up is a bit vicious here. Has 4.5 items. I don't think anyone else in the game is even at 4. Giraffe is. And Evan. No, I thought BF Sword was a full item. But I'm tripping. They are sieging opposite lanes here, and I think this is a triple inhib going down at this point. Very hard for Rift Sharks to play here. It's okay, I know Blake is like 4 years younger than me or whatever. Archive taking down the turret, getting the Jinx passive proc. Evan's ult actually just did 0 damage to Talia there.
0 damage? What was
Draco
that?
going in, gets a lot of damage out of the draft, and uses the E to try and stay alive, but is actually taken down by Evan, but I think they have enough damage to the Nexus that it is just going to fall down. No
yeah,
fight
Blake
required.
not even going in, just taking the Nexus. All business. Okay. Really good game from New York's Inferno.
Yes,
great stuff out of them.
Unfortunately for them, they will be disbanded. Blake was only able to sub for 1 game, and Draco has to depart as well. So they are being replaced by Brian and Albert in finals. But yeah, really good showing by that team. I think Rift Sharks kind of just fell apart that game. Not our strongest performance of all time. Okay, anonymous donation hack, 400 CS and $50. That is going to get us to 854.
Woohoo! Thank you, Anonymous.
Okay, I think that's how big it's supposed to be. I don't know. I feel like the overlay is being weird for me. Oh, it's because I have the width set wrong. Okay, hold on. Let me try and fix that real quick. I had a genius move of not actually checking any of the settings I had set up for OBS before trying to copy things over in the scene. A $17 tip from Blake. That will cover his Nefaria repeat, at least.
Thank you, Blake. I think he was tipping the amount of KP he had, so.
Oh, God fucking
that's why he didn't engage at the Nexus. That's why he didn't engage at the Nexus. He did not want to owe 20.
Yeah, valid.
I can understand that, Blake. Because he definitely could have killed a few more there.
Yeah. Oh, and I do need the donation count on the game overlay. Let's get that here. Okay, sorry I'm slacking. This is all messy. Just for game 4, just because of my new fancy draft tool. Just use the no Dean emote in chat already. It's okay. I'll accept it. Okay, but we will move on to the next iteration of the bracket, which shows that Inferno has advanced. Nope, I forgot to save it again. Okay, Inferno has advanced, and Rift Sharks and SR were eliminated after the first round of Sunday's games in the bracket stage. I really can't get this shit right. Okay, open, okay. I keep misclicking. But anyway, should be moving forward, and this will start the finals. It will be QC versus Inferno, and this is a best of 3 fearless. So this is the first set of games in this tournament that are played in the format that we'll actually get to see in the season. So that's exciting. But yeah, I mean, do you have any predictions? I think these are very different rosters than we expect to see. Inferno actually generously allowed QC to maintain their roster that they ran in the first round, so it is a little over points. And Inferno is running with a sub in for Lispy is out for Archived, is the direct sub from their starting roster. So I think, I mean, if Archive plays like they did last game, I don't think that's too much of a step down. But I think generally Lispy is considered to be one of the best, if not the best player on this team. And them missing Draco also is a bit of a tough loss for them. So I think they will be fighting a little bit of an uphill battle, especially with how vigorously QC has been winning the past few games in this tournament.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, just going into the games, I'd be favoring QC here when you consider the rosters that each team are running. But, you know, Inferno just came off of a really nice game, and it wasn't like it was just Blake or anything, and they all played really well. So maybe you can try to carry some of that momentum over and see what you can get going. With Fearless, obviously, that's a whole different element than what we've seen the rest of Frostbite. Kind of a teaser of what will be coming this season, so that's fun. Curious to see what they choose to go with draft wise, and see if they can make any sort of headway in slowing down this QC performance so far. That's really only had that initial speed bump against Project Tuesdays.
I mean, QC's been on an absolute roll this tournament. Been looking really good for them. But yeah, here we can look at the key matchup, which is QC Jim versus Inferno Brian in the top lane, which Brian's most played is Malphite, followed by Renekton and Garen. I will give a little spoiler because who cares? The top lane is going to be Malphite versus Renekton, which I think is very funny because those are Brian's top two champions, and Jim hasn't played anything. So a little humorous, I guess. But we can move on to one of the other slideshows. Rat being a key player, we did talk about him earlier, but Omar is a key player that we haven't gotten to talk about already. So, Brewer, as the resident mid laner, do you have any thoughts on Omar?
I'm a big Omar fan. I thought this last season Omar played extremely well. Played a great first season 2 seasons ago, but then I thought really leveled it up for Inferno and kind of became that true carry threat that they needed because Inferno always had super strong AD carry, whether it was Teddy or whether it was Vitus. But I thought Omar really stepped into that role of being a super strong carry player, had some insanely good performances. I remember some crazy good games on something like the Ari. Just having done super well. Had some insanely good Akali games too, if I remember correctly. So, gonna have a tough matchup here. I'm assuming. Wait, who's the mid laner for?
It is Rat.
Or so it's Rat. So yeah, has a very tough matchup here going up against Rat, but definitely think Omar can hang. So hopefully we see a good showing.
Yep, and
has a wide champ pool too. So
yeah, moving forward, I will take one more peek at the highlight slideshow. If I can get it to come back up, I do want to see the featured champions to watch. There we go. And Jim's still not having a top lane game, but Brian's champion to watch is the Maokai, and we have Amumu, Syndra, Hui, and Janna going down the line for Albert Inferno. And looking over to QC, we have Drakkar, who is 7-0 on the Zed, which is just gross. Alec and Paul are the same ones that we just got to see, and Rat is 6-1 on the Syndra. So
although
the Syndra being the top champion for both mid laners, I think is very interesting. But I don't know. Do you expect anything from this to kind of influence draft?
Well, I will say the Drakkar Zed is actually 7-1 because that game they lost against Project Tuesdays, wasn't he on the Zed?
Yeah, except those aren't logged. They don't count. It's blind pick.
It counts in my head canon, okay. So the god can bleed is what I'm trying to get at if you draft well and play well around it. But so I mean, Syndra again, just every freaking mid laner in the server has to play Syndra, but. So no surprise there. Probably going to be contested, especially when it's like Fearless now, where you can kind of deny it. Wouldn't be shocked to see that come out early, blue or red side for one of these guys. Otherwise, I don't know. Albert entered a car. I think you tried to just get Albert some of his comfort. He looked really good on the Skarner in one of the games we saw earlier this season. Earlier this tournament. Has a really good Amumu. Got to be a little careful picking the Amumu, though, because Drakkar is a super good Sylas player and could always kind of go for that counter pick. But, yeah, I don't know. Not too many other thoughts here. Just kind of excited to see what angle. I will say, please ban Kiana. Please ban the Zed. I mean, you don't. That's what I would suggest, but we'll see what they end up doing.
It's okay. They did. Kayn taken away as well. I know Drakkar's win rate on Kayn is actually not very good, so I think some people tend to leave that up. But Cassiopeia, Mordekaiser, and Smolder denied from the other side. I think that makes sense. Smolder being banned out over the Hui, I think, is a little interesting. I think Archived has performed a little better on the Hui, but Smolder is just an annoying champion. If you're not planning on first picking it, totally makes sense. We get to see the Drakkar Jace jungle as the first pick, but Albert picking up Skarner, I feel like are kind of comparable in terms of how signature they are for the player at this point. Drakkar really just had that one Jace game, but it was disgusting, so I'm really scared of it. Moving over, Archived is picking up the Jinx, which we saw him do super well on this last game, and we get to see the Jace-Zoe combo come back for QC, which has looked really good for them. And yeah, Alec picking up the Varus again, only to be answered by Omar's Akali. And I mean, we see the Jinx Lulu pairing. That is something that we already got to see. So do you have any thoughts on that part of the draft so far?
I don't know. It stands. I mean, the Jace first pick makes a lot of sense. I think it might be the best jungler on the patch. It's definitely one of them. Very strong. You pair it with the Zoe, which is a great blind pick. I mean, Zoe really is pretty happy as a blind pick because you can counter pick it, but you do so much damage, and if your jungler is strong and you can play off of them, you can always find good skirmishes. So, and it pairs well with the Jace, the poke combination. I do like the Akali for Omar, very comfortable champion for him. Like if you're confident, be confident. But if Rat positions well and doesn't ever kind of waste the sleep, it can be hard for Omar to actually go in on him. But I think both teams are going to be pretty happy with what they got. I mean, you got a really good team fight composition with the Jinx and the Lulu, which we just saw perform extremely well in the last game. So I love that Archived and Jeremy chose to go right back to that. And you got Albert on his comfortable Skarner pick. Not too sure how the Skarner will fare against the Jace. I assume they got rid of the Kane because they were probably a little bit more worried about what Kane would do into the Skarner maybe, but we'll see. And then I thought that Malphite was like a good pick into Renekton, but Brian opted to go for the Renekton, so we'll see how he's able to do. But I'm not a top laner, but I thought that if Malphite stacks all this armor, it's going to be challenging for the Renekton. But we'll see if he can get some early advantage. And then Paul on the Bard, that's just a fun pick. I think it pairs well with something like the Zoe. You have so much pressure in the jungle, moving around together. I think it could be hard potentially for someone like Albert to farm his camps if Bard and Zoe are backing up Jace. So that's kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, well, we can't just hop into game. The perks of it being recorded. So I will just cut over to it. Yeah, I think fun draft overall. I think the Bard from Paul is pretty exciting. We've tend to see the same champions from him a lot of the time, so the variety is always fun. And we do get to see a return to the Malphite. We got to see a lot of those on the first day of the tournament. Not so much later on, so it's nice to see another Malphite, I guess. I don't know how happy I am about it, but I don't know. This should be a fun game. I'm looking at the triple poke comp from QC. I think if they get any sort of lead, I think it's going to be super oppressive. But if they do fall behind, it's going to be a borderline useless team comp. So kind of balances out there.
Mm-hmm.
Paul really just wants to get canceled. I think he should be glad that all of his chat got scrolled off the top. Oh my god. Playing the French card can only protect you so far. The fact that he did donate a lot yesterday does cover for a lot of it.
A lot of damage early game with the Comet Varus and the Electrocute Bard.
Yeah, this is a very scary composition to play into. I mean, I think you have a lot of scaling upside on the other team, like Jinx, Lulu, Akali, Skarner is going to have a lot of value. Renekton's kind of your early game bridge, which we do see Brian playing really well into Jim to start off the game. But Paul just hitting everything, and same with Alec. It's getting a lot of damage dealt down onto Archived here.
Yeah, they are hitting it all right now, really poking them out.
Yeah,
I think early game in this matchup. Oh, go ahead. I was saying early game in this matchup, mid lane, I think Omar really just wants to farm. It's kind of like around level 6 where you could start trying to do something against the Zoe, but if he can just kind of stay even-ish and farm, not die, you'll be pretty happy with the early game. Zoe is so oppressive in lane, has the Ignite, really threatening. All it takes is really like 2 bubbles and you're dead.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Akali didn't opt for the Ignite. I feel like especially because you have a feeling that the Zoe probably is going to go for it. And I think that gives you a lot more of a chance to start threatening kills at level 6. I think missing the damage by not having it makes it a little harder to force onto it. So maybe Omar's expecting some jungle pressure mid to make it hard for him to really force into it. But I am just getting flashbacks to the QC game where they ran Jace Kiana before, and I am absolutely quivering.
Yeah, I mean, it does hurt Akali's level 6 damage not having the Ignite, but frankly, I think taking Ignite in this matchup would be a little too disrespectful against the Zoe, and all it would take is one bad play to really put you out of it, where it has the TP now, potentially can be okay if something goes wrong.
Yeah, Rat not able to get the empowered auto against Omar there.
Yeah,
he had
has the
Q, he would be able
good
to
use
hit
of the
it.
shroud.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Omar's Akali is like that. I think he's allowed to take Ignite.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with him if he chose to. That's just why I think he probably chose not to. Um, Albert looking to maybe find a dive. At the same time,
Paul almost finding the
Jay's
snipe, but
looking for
Drakkar
one.
is going to find the snipe, but it is barriered by Archive. Trying to stay alive here.
Oh my gosh.
I said the wrong thing. Alec almost finding the kill there. And Jeremy body blocking, trying to stop the kill from happening here. But I think
It's
Jeremy
just
might just end up
delayed.
dying. The shield coming down
Yeah.
onto Archive. Maybe it's enough damage. Drakkar
Oh
looking
my
for the shock blast. It
goodness.
misses both of them. And oh my god, they live for so long. Paul able to find the kill, and then Varus finds a kill on the backside of it. But Omar here looking for multiple kills. And he's going to flash forward and should be able to find both. And Omar immediately trades back all the gains had by QC and able to get a double kill. But he is actually down 20 CS in his lane, which I just realized.
Yeah, down a lot of CS. I will just say, I thought Archive and Jeremy played that out so well, like made that take so long. It's just a shame that their jungler was not anywhere near, because I mean, they made that dive take 20 seconds longer than you might have initially thought it would.
Yeah, Rat with
So,
a good point
ends
that
up being
bringing
a 2 for
Ignite
2.
into Zoe does mean that you can get double ignited, and says Cleanse would be his preferred summoner spell in that matchup. And we do see the Ignite come down there. And Omar, unfortunately, eating that Q. The flash from Rat might be enough to help him get the takedown, but the level from Akali should save Omar a little bit this time.
Yeah. Yeah, Omar's sitting on gold right now. Wants to try to get some farm and then spend that, but as you mentioned, CS lead a little bit concerning. We'll see if Albert can give him any kind of help
Yeah,
here.
they're looking for the 2v1 kill here. Albert is a little
Bubble
far away,
misses.
but flash coming out from Rat should be enough to keep him at bay. Drakkar looking for the damage. And they're trying to keep forcing this fight, but Drakkar just getting so much damage down onto both members. They should just have to back out here.
Yeah, you wanna be a
Brian
little
narrowly not
careful.
getting that kill top, but the back is forced out of the Malphite, and he is heading back to lane now. Oh, and Jeremy taking
Oh,
so much
wow.
damage. If that Comet hit, that would have been a kill. But Jeremy not afraid, still using his spells to buff up the Jinx, make sure that she gets the extra damage. Paul is looking for a
Paul made-
wraparound and
yeah.
should be able to find the kill here. Paul getting much
Oh, here
closer this
comes
time.
Jace.
Guarantee the kill with the auto instead of sniping with the Q. Well played by him. QC's bot lane looking really good this game. Albert is here
Brian
looking for a
actually-
play onto Jim, but the Malphite ultimate is available, just trying to make sure that they don't have the range to get out, and Jace Q over the wall, chunking down Archive, and I think this should just be a dead Jinx.
Yeah, I mean, it's just easy for Jakar. The bot lane for Inferno.
Oh,
keeps
he is
getting
staying
so
to hit tower,
low
though,
that
and
he just
Omar's
walks
here.
down. Oh,
Omar had
has the
ultimate, that
flash.
would have been 2 kills, but just doesn't have it available yet. Still, just got it. Was hoping to
Yeah.
run off the wave, probably. That's so unfortunate.
But yeah, bot lane for Inferno just keeps getting poked down, and then Jakar just shows up and grabs freebies.
And that
Maybe
should
a
be a
kill
kill on the
here.
Jim, but he is going to burn the flash, so ultimate is
Good
forced out
ultimate.
of Skarner. And that is going to be a kill going over to the Skarner.
That's big. You needed to get something topside, and Brian actually hasn't even taken his first back yet, so sitting on a lot of gold.
I'm kind of surprised he
Omar
actually
gonna
had
look
enough
for it
damage
here?
for the kill, to be honest. But Omar has
Has the-
ultimate, is choosing not to use it yet, just playing back there. Fight is bringing out
Paul
bot lane,
just
huge
so
chunk of damage
aggressive.
from Alec. Does not have the ultimate available right now, though. Oh, and Omar getting chunked by the, like, almost full range Zoe Q there. Not the amount of damage you want to be taking. Oh, and Rat going forward is going to drop the Ignite, takes the damage, and that is going to be a solo kill onto Omar there. He thought he was safe recalling at that distance, but just not the case.
Yeah, it's just a really unfortunate death.
Alec just looking for the poke, is able to connect consistently onto the Jinx. And has a good CS lead. I feel like if you're able to keep the Jinx behind, it might not be so much of a threat. I feel like the problem with the Smolder matchup is that she was just able to scale up kind of uncontested. But Alec doing a really good job of ensuring the poke is always there, making it really difficult to walk up for farm. And almost just finds the kill there. Has flash and ultimate available, but choosing to hold it. Doesn't feel like he needs to force the issue too hard here. Drakkar was just able to pick up the grubs, and I think QC can be looking to pick up their first dragon of the game. But not necessarily very soon. Brian playing the top lane really well here, has the most CS in the game. Not able to find a kill yet. Good hit onto Omar by Rat there, but he was just full health, so I don't know how much of an impact it is. Albert going for another gank here, potentially. They see the base coming out from Malphite, but it looks like Skarner's just going to take the base too, because Malphite ultimate is still available. A little bit of a risky play. Omar takes the E back in, looking for a kill potentially here. Does drop the ultimate this time, but Randuin's Omen actually going to be the thing that saves the Zoe. They actually wait until Jim TP's back into lane to try for the dive. So Albert just had to stay there the whole time. Drowsy comes down onto Omar, and I think that bubble is going to seal his fate. The long-range Q from Rat is enough damage to get the kill in combination with the auto, and that dive top did not work out, but I mean, I don't know how it was going to. You wait for the Malphite to base TP, heal all the way back up. Jace got hit by the Jinx rocket there, if anyone was wondering.
Yeah, kind of. I don't see the angle to dive in once he's full, and then yeah, just a nice kill by Rat. All right, we're getting a replay of the mid lane kill.
Rat has claimed it to be sick. If it's not, he suffers.
We'll see. Let's see.
Did I go back too far?
I think you went back way too far.
Maybe that was part of it.
I think his flash was just about to come up when it happened.
Okay, it has to be now, right?
Here we go.
I thought we watched this.
I think he must have done something when it panned to top.
I think it's dodging the ultimate with his ultimate. I think that's what he wanted to be shown.
Good stuff. Hits the sleep. Omar, even with his flash, not able to get out of range from a follow-up Q. That's the power of the Zoe. Lot of damage when you're able to land that sleep. And yeah, mid lane just kind of blowing wide open now.
It's okay, right? I think it was cool. It just got ruined by the fact that I went back too far. I got bored watching nothing happen.
I think it would look cooler if it was like in a montage with like some music and some lights.
That's true.
As Rat, we already know Rat's a great editor. I'm sure he could make it wonderful.
That's true. Drakkar should be able to pick up a kill on Jeremy
really
here.
Good
Actually, Jeremy's spacing really well, able to stay alive for a very long time here. Dropped down to like 10 HP there and was able to heal back up with the Summoner heal. Although this sleep onto Albert probably is doing him so much damage coming down from the triple poke comp, and they are able to pick up a kill there.
That was a great Bard ult by Paul to set it up, and then yeah, everyone else just collapses in another really nice sleep by Rat.
Yeah, well played by Jeremy to survive there. It's a little tough. Rat hits the Drowsy over the wall. I don't know if he's going to be able to find the kill there. So much damage coming through, but just not enough.
Yeah, having played against Rat Zoe, he's very good about using the walls in lane once he gets an advantage and has you under the turret to manage to find those sleeps.
Oh, Rat not getting the sleep bubble and quite accurately.
Omar got lucky right there. That had been immediate half health chunk as soon as you get back to lane.
Ultimate is available for Jim, so this is very risky, especially with Drakkar over the wall. Brian needs to play it a little safe or risk getting killed here. He does not know about the Jace, which could end up spelling his doom. He uses the W to clear the ward and just pays for it. He drops the ultimate and goes in, heals up a lot, but Drakkar being here is going to seal it. He would have gotten the solo kill on Jim. But
I'm not sure. That might have looked a little different had his W been up, but had just used it on that ward, and unfortunate. Really good gank timing by Drakkar, and nice job by Jim setting that up.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Drakkar wasn't there, Jim probably doesn't use the ultimate. So I think if it was just a 1v1 scenario, I think it's a good way to bait out the Malphite ultimate and get the fight that you want. But I just think the not having the knowledge of Drakkar being there completely warps how all of that goes down.
Kali now has the completed first item. Gunblade is officially back in the game. We'll see if that can help Omar try to turn some of these plays around.
Okay, am I dumb or does Gunblade look really stupid now?
I think they made it look similar, but worse.
Yeah. Oh well. Paul getting the stun onto Jeremy, and I think he is just going to die. No Milio available to cleanse the Varus in this game. Alec getting so much damage down. Archived able to return pretty good damage as well, but Bart is here, has the ultimate, and if he's able to connect it, I think that would set up Varus for a kill, and Omar just eating damage from Rat here, but I think Archived is going to be the next one to die based on the camera movement. They are taking down the tower, but it looks like there might have been a little bit of a miscommunication, but Paul doesn't care. Paul takes out the tower to make sure he gets the kill. Not
nice
playing for his ADC
there,
here,
yeah.
as he deserves to. That is a 5k advantage for QC at 14 minutes here, though. They've had a very good game so far.
Really, I'm really impressed with the bot lane as well. Not too surprised to see the Jace and the Zoe popping off. I mean, we've seen that all tournament, and we're used to that. But really impressive stuff out of Alec and Paul as well. And we just saw the Jinx and the Lulu do so well, and they're just not giving them a chance.
Albert just completely lands on Paul and takes him out. Got into the portal before he did, so he was there when he got out. Really well played by Paul, or by Albert to kill Paul. I'm losing it. Drakkar able to pick up the kill in coordination with Rat onto Omar in the mid lane. Good stuff for them.
Yeah, and this game's just kind of getting blown wide open. 6k gold lead at 15 minutes. Pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, Paul's buying a Zeal. I think that says some things about how the game's going.
I mean, rapid fire cannon bard's nothing too crazy. I assume that's what he's going for, but a little bit of fun there. And yeah, I mean, at this point,
onto Albert in this fight, and is just going to kite it out. Rat trying to catch him some doubles. Oh, the shock blast almost able to find a kill, and then
oh my goodness,
Alec bringing it home with the arrow. I think he uses his W there to pick that up.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much poke on this team composition. Oh, and has the ultimate to follow up.
I don't think it's going to be enough damage to get the kill, but Omar not loving the position he's in. Oh,
he got. Oh my
enough?
goodness.
And Rat flashing what, 3
fun.
times there to pick up that kill? I think he had Archives already and then grabs Omar's too, but he is in a position where he's going to die here. So
yeah, he used his flash, used another flash, used another flash. I like that though. Yeah, when you're up 6k, you gotta do fun stuff like that.
Drakkar looking for the kill onto Jeremy. It's a little rough for him. Paul here to support, but Albert honestly getting so much damage down onto Jace, but flashes forward and is going to pick up the kill onto Jeremy in exchange for his own life. Albert's actually making a lot of good plays here to try and come back into the game, but every time they get one, it's just countered by another kill on the side of QC, and it is 16-6, and this is an 7,500 gold lead. But Brian, huge play out of the bush, catches Alec out immediately, and the damage is here from Archive to pick this up. Traps primed, and that is just going to be a kill. Paul tried to save him, but instead he just sets him up as a perfect trap target for Jinx.
Wow, that's over 1,000 shutdown gold with the 2 bounties that Jinx just picked up. So, I mean, yeah, good stuff by Inferno, finding kills, finding ways back. But as you said, when
Jinx
you're this
might
far
get
behind,
her first item off
it's just hard. It's hard to not, get traded. And I mean, you're just seeing it. It takes, at this point in the game, it's 1 sleep is essentially almost a kill.
Yeah, I mean, if you have teammates there to back you up, it's almost definitely a kill. Brian here trying to defend his tower, but Jinx finally able to purchase her first item of the game. And actually get another BF on top of it, so that's pretty good.
Jim has the ultimate here, so I don't really think he's ever in danger, and yeah, just gonna use that to get away. Might be able to get the turret here if you're Brian, which that'd be nice. Get a little bounty gold.
Okay, so was Jim on an ult in the first game? I don't know if anyone.
I almost brought that up because I was like, you were calling the obese diabetes person Jim, but that was a different name, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I know Fat is, so I just assumed that he like changed his name to just be like a superlative version.
Yeah, Fat is Jim for sure.
Yeah. I want to know the reasoning. Was it for a different skin? Was he in a game that he needed to leave so that he could play a custom on his ult? Huge damage from Jakar over the wall.
Well, I don't even care about that. I just want to know, like, how fat is Jim in real life?
Oh, the Fat account is 420. I forgot about that.
That's what I want to know. How big is this man?
It'd be funny if he's like 80 pounds. Well, if we're going by the logic, it's level 420, so he needs to also weigh 420 pounds.
Morbid obesity.
Omar going in. Drakkar is just going to find the kill, but Jeremy almost able to pick up the snipe. Brian going for the trade back onto Jim here. And I think at this point, Malphite just has too many defensive items. I don't think Brian's going to be able to find a kill. It looked like Drakkar was going to die to a tower shot there, but it was aimed for a minion. Albert trying to pick up the kill here. I think 2v1, they could handle the Malphite, but ultimate is still available. And Paul trying to fish for something with the ultimate, not able to find it. But the Bard and Malphite might be able to win this just with how much damage Paul has 2 completed items, which is more than anyone else in the fight. I think they buffed support gold passive income too much. Let's roll.
Well, this was also before they've nerfed the Bandle Pipes. It's an extremely cheap item right now.
Yeah, that's true. Rapid fire cannon is pretty cost effective as well.
And yeah, I mean, just a strong QC showing in this game 1.
Yeah, I mean, they've been on a roll. I guess you make them drop one game and then they just get pissed and then just beat the crap out of everybody. Makes you scared if you win the first game against them in season, though. If this is going to happen. True. But it would be fearless, so they'd be
win at your own risk. We may just be seeing a dead Brian here. Yeah, man, that's a lot of damage coming out from Jace.
Jim's just there for moral support.
Should be able to just pick up Baron here, and I mean, that's
Archive has been stealing with the Jinx, so maybe we could see this contested, but it's not on Vision at all, so I think that makes it a little harder. And that is just a 20-minute and 34-second Baron. Absolutely disgusting.
I mean, they're getting very close to a 10k gold lead. I mean, that's tough. Kind of getting belted right now is Inferno. Maybe Omar can find something.
Car, but gets rooted up and is just taken out by
Alec.
Oh my god. Now Drakkar looking for a play onto Brian. Alec is going to get taken out here. Kill going over to Jinx. 420 gold for that one. Drakkar not going to go down and is going to find the kill onto Brian, though. Rat able to find the snipe onto the Skarner. Made the Skarner look like a squishy champ there. A little gross.
Yes,
and
he
this
did.
might just be the end angle for QC. They've taken 3
and I mean,
down, and they're looking at the base.
Yeah, it's just challenging. I don't hate the attempt by Omar there. You kind of find an angle on Jace, but you're just so behind the. I mean, he's got blown up instantly.
Very sad. I don't think they're actually going to be able to end. Jace is left for greener pastures.
No, not quite yet.
I would say they're almost assuredly winning the game, though. It's very hard to come back at this point.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen such a comeback. I've seen big ones, but an 11k gold lead at 22 minutes. That'd be a new record if, if a comeback occurs for my games I've seen. And that's just going to be another kill. Man, you see the combination there, though. I mean, they've been so fed this game, it really hasn't even shown up that much, but bubble into Jace Q is so much damage as well.
Oh, Rat almost finds that, but Omar actually able to pick him off. Knows he went too far forward, has the dash, almost finds the kill on Jakar too, but just is not enough damage there, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does manage to get Rat. And Brian is actually there to pick up the Jace. And the Varus, maybe.
Really well played by Brian. They're able to actually go 3 for 3, which is not what I expected to even be possible at this point in the game. Jim looking for the kill onto Albert, and I think Paul's actually in range to help out with this, and that is going to be a kill going over to Jim. First kill of the game, but he's actually only died once, so he has a very solid KDA so far. Just playing safe, doing a good job with that.
Yeah, he was soaking a lot of that early pressure. You'll remember he outplayed that one dive and used his ultimate defensively a lot, but I mean, that's really the only place they were trying to get any pressure, and he did a really nice job of never really dying. But I mean, they do manage to get a couple kills there, but yeah, I mean, as you've said, it's very very tall task at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game should be pretty easy to close out. They have hit their 10k gold lead at this point, and they're trying to stack up their third drag of the game. Archive taking so much damage from the Jace and the Zoe, I believe.
And it's really not mattering that much because of how far behind they are, but I think even if this game was only like a 3 or 4k gold lead, it would still be extremely hard for Inferno to play.
This is a flank TP coming out from Jim.
Oh.
Albert looking to maybe pressure out the dragon, but is forced out of the pit, sees the wraparound, and Paul actually would have prevented it with the ultimate anyway, but Albert is taken out, and they're going to look for more on the other side of the fight. Jim able to get a lot of damage down onto the Jinx, and he is just picked up by Jakar, and now Brian is going to fall asleep, gets woken up by Bard, and I think might be able to kill Rat because of it. Paul is just griefing his team. He does not care. Oh, this shit's so funny.
He's having a little fun, but yeah, yeah.
I don't really think Rat's super contestable here. Omar's going to walk up to try and get something done, and the Shock Blast is going to miss, so Drakari is going to retreat a little bit, but this game is pretty much sealed. Next Baron's up in a minute 20. I think they're probably going to look to take that and then close out the game.
Hopefully. Should be able to wrap it up too pretty soon here. I think at a certain point, I don't know how you can survive a Baron Siege when you consider the 3 poke champions they have. And then I like their team composition. You have the 3 poke champs, and as soon as you get people low enough, which it's not really mattering in this game because they're just dying from range, but you know, if it was a little closer, as soon as they're getting low enough, you then have the snap engage of a champion like the Malphite or the Bard ult to convert all your poke advantage you've gained. So I really do like the QC composition.
Yeah, the Bard ult is also really good for setting up engage because you can just time your poke to hit as they come out of the Bard ultimate. And Brian just gets taken down by Drakar and Rat, and I think this will likely be the game. I don't think they need to wait for the Baron.
I think you might be right.
Oh my god, Jeremy just took so much damage there. Is not actually going to die. Drakar going forward with the flash auto, and it isn't enough. Jeremy's been playing this game super well. I don't know how much this mattered, but he has been playing quite well. Drakar narrowly missing the kill on Archived also. Yes, 13 kills isn't enough for him to have enough damage. Rat looking for this kill onto Omar. Isn't going to find it. Jeremy, get down, Mr. President, is going to save Omar there. And now it looks like QC is taking a slight retreat, waiting to group back up with their new wave. Respawn on Brian is about only 10 seconds, and Rat and Drakar are chunked. So maybe this is harder for them to siege than they thought. But looking for the kill onto Archive. Archive falling down to about 800 HP. Is going to go back into base to heal up. Albert looking for an angle. Is able to find the ultimate onto Rat, and that should be a takedown. Omar going in to try and find it, but huge defensive ultimate from Jim. Able to keep him alive. Rat able to dodge out from the Jinx ultimate, and that is just going to be game. That Malphite ultimate was critical in keeping Rat alive. Omar had a really good angle, but really good reaction time from Jim. They are going to be able to take this out. Alec flashing into Fountain to pick up the final kill of the game. Jeremy coming out trying to find something, but that is going to be a 27-minute first game from QC. And they have had 3 games like this in a row. Or 4 games like this in a row.
Very well played. Yeah, very, very well played to them.
Okay, so Inferno does have side select again for this next game, but it's a question of can they stop this run by QC? It's been a little disgusting to see this over and over and over again.
Yeah, it'll be a tall task. I will say, so this is the Fearless season, unlike last season. You don't have to worry about something like the Jace or the Zoe going into this next game. So, maybe they can find a different strategy, something that favors them a little bit more, and try to bounce back.
That is going to be hard, though. You still need to probably ban the 3 champions that you banned last time. So you're not necessarily going to be getting off scot-free with like banning 3 whole new champions because the bans are not carrying over here. But yeah, you don't have to deal with the champions that you actually had to play against again. But I do feel like Inferno got rid of basically all their high comfort champions. The only people left that I feel like have a lot in their pool that are just as good are Omar and Albert. I feel like that Renekton, Jinx, Lulu, at least on the patch, was the best in slot champions there. I mean, the Janna is still available for Jeremy, which I think is just as good, and Archived has a few other champions that are similar, but that Renekton from Brian we've seen is definitely the champion he's performed the best on. So that is a tough loss for them, and I think they do suffer more from the Fearless than QC does, because I think QC played a lot of champions that they like but are more so good right now than in general, so QC still has a lot of comfort left over. And I do believe that they're role swapping this game, which makes Fearless hurt even less. So
yeah, well, let's see the draft. Let's see what we got cooking.
Yeah, let me pull that up. I need to get everyone in the right spots, but QC up 4-0 here, and if they do win here, the tournament will conclude, and ASPCA will be the charity chosen by Trial of Fire. But if Albert's Inferno is able to change the tide of the series and pull out a win here, it will be a 1-1 state, and we will have an additional game after this, which means that either of the 2 remaining charities could end up being the winner. So exciting stuff. And if you are waiting to determine what the charity is before you donate, just wait until the end of this game or the end of the next game to figure out what that is going to be. And if you don't get the opportunity to get your donations in by the end of this game, I am going to wait until the end of the week. So about Sunday night or so to put the donation in, just in case anyone else wants to get something in and they weren't able to do it during the tournament for whatever reason. But yeah, let me pull up the draft real quick. I totally pulled the wrong link, so it'll give me a second. There was some draft link mayhem going on in the captain chat here. But yeah, here we go. Here is the second draft. So we do actually get to see the Janna that I talked about. We're seeing Xayah come through for Archived, and we do get to see Albert's Lilia, which I feel like is his best champion. So that is pretty exciting for me. The pick that we don't get to see on Inferno here is Victor coming through, but it looks like the bans stayed pretty much the same. But we do have Rat role swapping to top to play the Camille. Normally you would expect the Kindred to be for Rat, but we do get to see Drakkar Kindred this game. Any other thoughts that you have on draft here? I think the one thing that sticks out to me is the Kindred Tarot combo, which I think is pretty fun.
I mean, yeah, I do think that Inferno ended up with a lot of comfortable champions. I think Albert is a great Lilia. Archived loves the Xayah. Jeremy's a great Janna. But I think the composition overall that QC has built, I really kind of favor. I really like it here. You have the Tarek plus Kindred combination, which is super, super strong. And then you also have just the super classic combination of pairing Camille with Galio. And on top of that, in your backline, you're going to have a Hui that can kind of play by himself and follow up a lot of AoE damage from range. And I think Hui also benefits from something like a Camille ult. They can't get out of your AoE at that point. So I really like what QC has here. And I'm a little. It's gonna be kind of fun to see Rat play top. Don't know if I've really seen too much of that, especially since Drakar's kind of been playing it tonight or yesterday and tonight. But Drakar on Kindred, I'm sure he'll do just as well as we've seen Rat do. Both very strong junglers. I'm sure they can both play that champion very well. So I don't know. I'll be kind of shocked if it's not a similar game to last game, if you want my honest opinion. But I'm hoping that Inferno can make it a really competitive one here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the role swaps coming out from QC might make it at least a little bit closer, and I do think Albert's Lilia has a ton of potential. I don't know how the matchups in this game work pretty much at all. The only one I feel like I have... I'd say Shen Camille is something that's kind of a known factor. I feel like the Shen can get a lot of value in the early game, able to outtrade well, but Camille is just going to shred, especially once she gets up to like level 20. The true damage on the Q2 is going to be absolutely filthy. Hui is just kind of an uninteractable champion, but I think Xayah kind of fills the same niche, so it's going to be up to whoever can play the later game a little better. And Victor does have a decent lane into Galio just with the range advantage, but Galio's going to have a lot of value playing into Lilia and Victor. So
I do think Victor not too bad here, and then I do think the Janna also not too bad at trying to peel something like the Camille. Now, obviously, the Camille could try to look for Janna on like a flank, but I think there are angles here for Inferno to find good team fights.
Yeah, Paul.
You're gonna want to have a better early game
lane,
though.
But yeah,
and it says Paul on what I would say is probably Paul's best and most comfortable champion as well, who already had a great performance on the Bard last game. So Paul playing really well. Shen kind of a fun pick. And, I think Shen's one of those champions that also really likes the season change, because Shen would often take Ignite because it was like, well, I can take Ignite, I'll have my ultimate. But now Shen can take Ignite, have his ultimate, and still have teleport.
That's true. Yeah,
pretty big beneficiary.
The Shen Lilia combo I think is going to be really good. I think normally you think about Shen with more traditional, like more melee champions, but they don't have any of those on the team, and I think Lilia is going to be weaving in and out of the team fights enough that the Shen is still going to get a lot of value from using the ultimate on the Lilia.
Yeah, but surprisingly, Rat's winning these trades pretty hard so far. I think Shen would win these early trades, so I'm a little surprised that it's such a big health disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Brian's focusing a lot more on the minions, is basically doubling Rat's farm. And sometimes when you do go for that, it is going to make you end up losing out on some of the trades, especially if you're using your abilities to farm. I think this game is likely going to be pretty boring, actually. I don't think basically any of these laners really want to be interacting too much. I think you have to wait till the two super farming, scaling junglers come online to try and help you out. Paul is getting knocked up here, went in a little aggressively looking for something, but I think he is just going to be able to walk it out and heal back up once he starts autoing some minions.
Yeah, Paul is continuing to play very far up. That's a good punish by the side of Inferno to get some damage.
Yeah, Alec getting a lot of poke down. I do think it's interesting that Alec opted into denying the Hui away. I mean, Alec obviously is more known for being a mid lane player, at least in Scrim Zone. So being able to play a mid lane champion is not super surprising, and it is a really good denial from Archived. It saves you a ban. But
yeah,
we'll see how he could pilot it as the game goes down.
Yeah, the Camille passive shield doing a lot of work and kind of denying Brian's damage, making it really hard for him to get effective trades. Even taunted Camille under the turret there, made her take a turret shot, but I mean, it just feels like every time they're trading, it's when the Camille passive is up, and if that's the case, then Camille's typically going to win those trades because that shield is so strong.
Yeah, and Brian's actually now up in CS, as is every member of QC, except for the junglers who are even. Actually, Omar now got back up as Jim takes a base and TP's back in. But Rat able to find the stun down, hits the Q2. A lot of damage coming through over onto the Shen. Alex, so much damage coming down onto Archive. Definitely winning out on these trades. It's a lot easier for White to get to poke, though, because of the range advantage. Brian going in, trading pretty decently. Rat might need to find something on the back of it in order to even it back out, but still is enjoying the even farm at this point. Lilia looking to make a play, but Camille does have the extended vision from the Phaelite. This might be the slowest game of the tournament so far. No first blood by 5 minutes.
Yeah, a little bit of a slower start. But I think you've kind of pointed out the reason, and we may be setting up for a dive here top.
Yeah, Drakkar is in position. They could be looking for it. Shen has ultimate, which isn't going to help him, but maybe he could ult somebody else to get out. But
well, Shen's W can get a lot of value here because all the damage is coming through from auto attacks for both Camille and Kindred. So if, maybe you can get a nicely timed W, and they don't have the Kindred ult.
The stun does not hit from Camille, and Drakkar taking so much damage from tower and hasn't gotten any damage down onto Brian. They did manage to reset the tower, which will help him out a little bit, but Drakkar needing to play so far away, has no HP left, basically. And yeah, I mean, Brian played really well to survive the dive, didn't need to burn Ignite.
Yeah, the fact that they didn't have the ultimate on Kindred there made that to where they couldn't just like tank extra turret shots. And yeah, as I mentioned, the W got a lot of value out for Brian.
Yeah, Paul able to find a stun onto Albert. I don't think it's going to do too much, but Archive's really low here, trying to path up towards Paul to get the damage down. First blood going over to Janna. A lot of damage coming down from the ADC and the jungler of Albert's Inferno here, but now they're trying to finish the dive, and the W does come out, and Brian able to find one kill, and both, but he's not able to find the kill credit onto the Kindred. That is just going to be a execution, and again, another trade where the divers do not get to benefit too much. Archive did fall down to the tower there, but they were able to take down the Hwei. Resources committed on both sides and losing people to the dives on both sides, but credit to Brian for being able to outplay that and not fall down.
Yeah, exactly what I'm talking about. He's just, using not wasting the W, has it when, they're coming in, and is doing a really nice job. And Rat seemed to think that he could have dodged the tower shot with his ult. I'm not 100% sure on that interaction, but it did not work as he was hoping it would, and it ended up being a nice job by Brian.
But
maybe just didn't time it right. I didn't even really notice that during the play, but just good stuff by Brian. Man, almost was able to pick up 2 there had he been able to get like the Ignite off or something on his Drakkar, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, Albert's Inferno coming out to a lead this game. I think the comfort is helping them, and I definitely underestimated Brian Shen. Apologize, I did not was not familiar with this game, but
yeah, giving us a much stronger showing here to start. I don't think you're too concerned if you're the side of QC because your comp does scale very well, and you haven't even really gotten to use your combos that we've referenced earlier yet. But if you're Inferno here, you're a lot happier with how this has started.
Yeah, Kindred does have a mark already. I think there probably was one put down on Shen that wasn't collected, but I think able to get one from a camp at least. Alec with a fear coming out does not have the ultimate available, and Archive just going in, dropping the offensive ultimate, and able to pick up a kill with it. Really well played by Archived.
Yeah, Archive very confident on the Xayah, obviously knows that they can find that kill there and just does a good job of punishing Alec without the flash. Well done by Archived. Didn't even have to flash themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's entirely possible that PB is just completely washed and Jeremy is the better support for Archived. Just being inflammatory here.
It's possible.
Fishing. We'll see. Shen ultimate is coming down, as is Galio ultimate, so this fight is about to be a whole lot more populated than it used to be, but Camille there as well, and this is just going to be a double kill for QC, I believe. Shen trying to get out. Now Omar is in the fight, but red team actually able to claim all 3 Void Grubs, benefit going over to Inferno for that. And Drakkar, really good pathing, able to dodge the sword from Shen, but is going to fall down. And I think Rat almost able to pick up the kill onto Brian. Flash coming out from Jim, trying to gap close, and is just going to fall down here. I don't think Rat has cooldowns left to win this fight, but is going to look for it, getting the W slow. But Brian is still in the area. It's a little tough, but the hookshot coming out is able to find a double stun. The flash comes out. Rat able to find so much damage, and he might not be able to finish this off because of the W coming down from Omar. Does not have the flash anymore. And I think that was a 2 for 2. And all 3 grabs going over to Inferno.
Yeah, super, super exciting fight there. Really nice flash by Rat at the end to turn that to a better play for them. But I think
stun coming through from Paul. Janna ultimate is going to keep Archived alive, though. That was a close one.
But yeah, the big thing in that top fight was Drakkar just did not use his ultimate. He died before he got the Kindred ult off. And
Paul getting caught out here. Ult's just a little too late. And really good gank from Albert, able to pick up another kill here. Alec looking for kills on Archive, not able to find one yet, but can keep fishing with the QW. Oh, and is going to miss onto the Lilia. Drakkar falling down low. Does have the ultimate available here and doesn't use it again. Are we sure that Drakkar can play the Kiana or the Kindred as good as Rat?
I think he might just need to go get his keyboard checked out. The R button might just be broken. I can't imagine he's failed to click it twice. Must just not be registering.
Barrier forced out by Archive there. Alec was able to land the stun. It just wasn't enough to kill. They don't have vision of Archive. Oh, but Paul flashing forward is able to find the stun down onto Jeremy. And they force another summoner spell out of Archived.
Oh, had to hit that flash key right there, or that was going to be a lightning bolt strike from Alec. Camille has the completed Triforce right now, is very strong.
Yeah, the boots are going to help Shen here. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Did not get the slow from the Q there, I don't believe. Rat trying to space here. I think if he walked too far forward, he would have gotten hit by the Grasp Auto, and that would have been bad news.
Very, very close. I mean, I think Shen can still trade effectively with Camille on the initial trade, but gotta run away after you do the initial taunt and the initial W. Any extended fight is gonna start favoring Camille.
Yeah, I mean, Rat, I think, just playing more safe than trying to force a kill here. Albert is in the area and could look for something. Is going to wrap around. Rat getting the stun off and is going to dodge the taunt, but can't finish off the kill because of the W from Shen. Really well played by Albert here. They're up 9-3 this game and up 2,000 gold to start it, and everyone's score lines are looking really good here.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Really great stuff out of Albert's here. And I mean, you see, Rat has the Camille down. Like, that was a nice dodge with the ultimate, but as we've mentioned, the Shin W is just, and he has it again. I mean, it's just, there's so much.
Drakkar using the ultimate, finally.
Press ultimate.
Oh my god, he died there too, because that isn't even a tower shot you should be taking. Yikes.
Yeah, but you're seeing the value of the Spirit Refuge, the W on Shin. So much of their damage is auto attacks, and he's just getting to deny all of it. So just really big value and playing well as Brian. When we were kind of questioning, what was his champion pool going to look like with the Redecting gone and with the Malphite gone.
Yeah, I mean, caster curse myself here for sure. Alec is caught out here. He is likely just going to die. And I think some kind of hidden value in this pick or in this composition is Omar on the Victor. It was the last pick. It's going to be very hard for them to collapse onto him. And I think the silence that he has on the ultimate, it is very short, but I think if Drakkar is trying to get his ult down at that specific moment, or Paul's trying to get their ult down, just being able to stall it just a little bit when those ults are just completely life or death could be impactful here.
But they certainly have a pretty fair amount of burst on their side with something like the Victor combination or the Xayah snapback of feathers. I do still think QC's in an okay spot. You're 3k gold down, but if you can find these combination plays where you do something like Taric ulting at the same time that Camille is going in, Galio's following up, I still think it's pretty playable for them. But you're right where you want and need to be if you are Inferno to give yourself a strong chance in this game.
Yeah, their gold lead has shrunk a little bit, I think. I think they're up about 2.5, and now it's just a little bit lower than that. Alec getting a pull in, Archives taking some damage, and I think the Taric is going to have much better sustain. Albert looking for this play, not able to find much more damage other than the initial hit. Galio's in the area if Camille's able to go in, but it looks like they're just going to let this play fizzle. It could have been a good angle if it was just a one-on-one, but Albert showing up makes it a little harder for them to force it.
Oh, Victor might be. I can't tell if Jakar's going to try to wrap on Victor here.
Yeah, it
May
looks
look
like he
for it.
is. The mark comes down here, and he is going to get taunted. If they can delay long enough for the mark, this could be very nice. And I think that they are able to. Jakar just waiting out that last auto and is going to
Gets
use
the
it in time
shutdown
to
as
pick up the mark.
well. That's a pretty unfortunate death for Omar there.
Only a second mark of the game, though. Not too accelerated in terms of that. And Lilia is denying the mark that's currently on the map currently. I just said currently twice. That's okay. Jakar not able to pick it up, and Albert is clearing really well, is outpacing Jakar in the farm department. Although Rat is up 45 CS in the top lane. That's the biggest deficit across the map by far.
Yep. Galio actually ahead of Victor as well in farm. Jim doing a really nice job of farming this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jim's had a pretty good series. I think he is off-rolled in both of these. I think support and jungle are his primary roles. But the fact that he's able to just pick a tank and just not die, like the fact that he only has one death in the first 15 minutes of both games, I think is really admirable. Definitely seen some other games today and throughout the tournament where people have, you know, role swapped and died a lot. So.
Yeah, and I think Jim's having a really nice game.
This could be tricky. Omar is just going to get caught out by Jim, though, and I think Jakar should have enough damage, even through the Shen shield. Jakar now actually using the ultimate in time, and it is going to get the knockup. I believe the Shen ultimate was canceled by Rat, so he didn't come through, and they weren't able to pick it up. Jeremy trying to run interference here, and it is going to cause the Herald to reset. Although
that's
Rat
unfortunate the Shen ult didn't come through, or that might have looked a little bit different, but just another good setup by Jim. Just doing the heavy lifting right now for Jakar, setting him up with a bunch of free kills.
Probably just going to get picked up there with the Q2. Albert almost able to secure the Rift Herald and is going to get the kill on Jakar, I believe. No ultimate available. Jakar's team was able to pick up the Rift Herald Eye for him, but Brian flashing in, able to get the taunt down, and I think that is going to stall out long enough for Albert to escape, but I think Brian is going to lose his life for it, having already flashed in offensively. But Rat trying to make a play so that he can collapse onto Albert. He gets close, flashes forward, does not have an ignite though, so he's not able to get it, but Paul is going to be able to pick up the kill. And that just completely took Albert's Inferno's lead away. They might be able to pick it up with this tower to gain something back, but unfortunately that just did not go well for them at all. Jakar able to get the ult down in the right spot, and Rat just having a complete easy time in that fight, it felt like.
Yeah, QC's done a really nice job of evening this game back up.
And Kindred looking for his third mark here. Hadn't marked anybody in that fight that he was able to take down. So this should be getting him to number 3 on the Scuttle Crab there. 4 marks is about where Kindred becomes as strong as all the other champions. 7 puts her a little far above everybody else, and 10 or ahead is broken.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the difference right now, what's allowed this turnaround is they've just started fighting around the Galio. He's setting them up very nicely. Jim has 7 out of 8 kill participation, the highest kill participation in the game, which is what you want to see on something like Galio that's such a facilitator for his team. And the moment they start fighting around him, Jakar starts having a good game. And I think if they continue to do that, they can probably start to ride what they've turned into, you know, an even game into an advantage.
Yep, agreed with you on that one.
Well, on his team, Mr. Friend. You are correct that Lilia has 9.
True. Albert, my goats.
Although I think 7 out of 8 is better than 9 out of 11.
But Rat gets taunted under tower, and the taunt is actually just enough to secure the kill. That sucks. I always hate when you land the taunt and it kills you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Unlucky.
I mean, at this point, though, Rat is level 13, looking very strong, has that enough HP to tank those extra tower shots. Jeremy, a little bit deep here. Gonna be okay.
Is another dragon taken over by Inferno? They've had really good objective control. Did end up losing the Rift Herald, but that's it. They've gotten everything else. They are down in gold now, but I think you're willing to trade that for a couple dragons.
Yeah.
running out of brain stamina, I think. This is what, my 13th game? No, 15th game in 4 days. Besides the cumulative 1 game I made you do. But Rat going in, and they should just be able to pick this one up. No Kindred ultimate available for Brian, which would have been nice. His W was just not able to help him enough. Drakkar does still have ultimate if they're looking to dive here. They get the stun down onto Albert, and Paul is here to help out, and I think the double immune should allow them to dive forward a bit, but the huge triple sleep coming out from Albert, but the Taric ultimate is perfectly timed to just counter it. It is a very good pick into the Lilia, but Alec flashing forward, not able to find anything, and the move speed on Albert might be enough to help him fight this, but it's so hard to push into 4 people at once, so he is just going to back out.
Yeah, you saw the value of the Taric ult there, Paul timing it perfectly, so it basically completed right when the sleep did, and it's just you can't follow up at that point. Paul just so comfortable on this Taric. I mean, you saw him just use it to such great success last season. Another champion that's not that popular. You don't really see a ton of people playing Taric, so it's fun to see somebody that's so confident on the pick and plays it to such a high level.
Yeah, it looks like the mark is going to be denied away from Drakkar. It would be that crucial 4th mark, so good for them to deny it, but they actually haven't done it yet. Albert is just going to pick it up now, and then it has to run away, but has Rat basically glued to him. Lilia is fast, though, so she's able to escape, but Rat does not care. He's still running, almost finds a burst down onto Jeremy, but isn't able to ult the tornado. And now Brian is the next target, but he's able to live a lot longer than most of the people on his team. Rat falling down super low is going to hit the plant to start healing up, and Archived is in big trouble, but is getting shut ulted, so should survive a little bit. Really good Xayah pull is able to pick up 1 kill for his team, but now Brian is going to die on the backside of it, and the knockup coming down onto the Lilia. They're looking for the kill onto Jeremy. They are able to find it, goes over to Paul M, and then Rat is able to pick up another kill, and I think this is just going to be it for Albert. He gets attacked by Rat, and that is going to be a double kill going over to Rat, and now they have the kill advantage. They're up 2,000 gold. There's no dragon on the map. This was all over a scuttle crab, which I think actually did not end up... Oh, right, never mind. Albert took that down, so Drakkar did not get credit for it and is dead, so won't be able to steal away the Gromp either. Omar able to find a double stun there. I don't know if it's enough damage, but is actually able to take down Rat. That's 731 gold. That cuts their gold lead in half, and he flashes forward and should be able to find a kill onto Alec too. Omar popping off. Holy shit.
Yeah, I was about to say that ended up being a 4v5 because Omar wasn't in that fight, but he shows up at the end there and grabs 2 massive kills. Good for him.
That was insane.
That'll give him his next item.
Yeah, Jim clearly had not seen that happen in the game and is confused and upset at his teammates for the blunder that they just made in the mid lane. Reasonably so. It was incredibly funny. Archive looking for some damage over the wall, but this is a 3v2 in favor of QC, so it's a little rough. Sleep potentially could come out here, but it is not going to.
Drakkar still has ultimate. Did not use it in that last fight before he went down, so has it here. Can't really follow up on him.
Yeah, the dragon is up in 50. He's probably going to try and hold it for that. Was he actually able to take away the mark? Yes, he was. That was one that should have been guaranteed by Inferno to deny, but he's actually hit that first breakpoint, which is a big deal for Kindred. And Rat thinks that you can hookshot a bush. You can't. Hope this helps. Albert getting chunked here, but he should be able to heal up a little bit.
That took me a second to get what you were saying. That's funny. All right. All right. Fun game though. I mean, after first game was a pretty big stomp, and that could have taken that Inferno out of it mentally, but did a really nice job bouncing back here, and QC not going down easily though, making this a super competitive, close one.
Yeah, the wave's starting to be a problem, but I feel like Alec has just been getting caught by a lot of damage. So he's able to put out a lot, but hasn't been able to survive super long.
Yeah, I mean, I really think Jim's just my MVP here. 1 death so far on the Galio, 11 KP. Gotta see if he can
Rat
find a
is
nice
looking to make a play though,
engage.
and is able to get out of the
Here
Victor
comes the Galio.
stun. Archived ult forced out. Rat is in big trouble here, but is caught by the Taric ultimate. A lot of work done by Paul there, but Brian actually able to pick up a kill onto him, and this is one in favor of Inferno, and huge Lily ultimate coming out. They get so much damage on, but Drakar's ult able to stall this out for a while, and able to get Drakar and Jim out of the way. Paul trying to get escaped, but he is just going to get killed by the Janna, and this is a 3-1 fight for Inferno, and they're able to get soul point here.
I cannot believe that Archived lived for so long off that initial dive by Rat. Got picked off at the end due to some nice damage from Alec in the choke point, but I mean, the fact that Xayah lived for so long allowed them to turn that fight, and you saw it. Albert found a massive sleep.
0 damage down to Albert. He runs into the whole team and sleeps them, and I mean, I think the Taric ultimate into the Lilia ult is a much better counter. The Kindred ult basically did them nothing, especially because if you're not at that like 10% health threshold, you can still get the damage put down, so he was still able to get full value out of the sleep pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how that did not go better for them. It felt like a good engage, but clearly need to kind of rethink what they did there.
Completely split. I feel like they were in a big line of 5 people. Paul was able to get the ultimate down onto Rat to keep him alive, but he wasn't actually there to provide any support with him in the fight. Drakar is going to be able to steal away this objective, though, and now has 5 stacks, which is going to be a big deal. And now they are just going to try and start up the Nash, potentially, unless Drakar hit that by accident. Yeah, they are just going to walk out of it. Rat is caught out here. Albert does have the sleep available, probably going to try not to use it, but this is taking long enough for the team to join there. And I think the Taric ultimate is not yet available, but Rat just able to get out with the hook shot, almost walks into the ball and dies, but Albert taking so much damage down there, gets stacked up by Rat and by Alec, and is just going to get taken down. And that is a big deal. Maybe there is threat onto it, but Jim, huge play here, sits on the taunt and should be able to have enough damage to get Shen low enough for Drakar to kill him. And yeah, I think now they could just start at the Nash. They've taken down the top laner and the jungler, but every member of Albert's Inferno is strong, so it's not like you've wiped out the key members at this point, but you just have to hope that the 5-3 numbers advantage is enough. The gold lead that they have is basically nothing, and I think it's completely outweighed by the dragons. The mana advantage here is powerful. And Omar going to trade a turret for it, I think, but he is getting collapsed on by Rat as we watch the Nash go down. And yeah, Omar not able to take down the tower, but does get out with his life.
For now.
Yeah, he is getting collapsed on, but the stun is going to come through on Victor, and Xayah so much damage here. Not able to finish it, doesn't have the pullback, and Jim just using the ultimate to get out, and is going to live due to it. Almost a kill onto the Camille, though. A lot of damage is coming down from Archived at this point. Once that IE is completed, it's going to be vicious, but right now it's manageable for QC.
Yeah. Getting that Baron is pretty big for them, though. You do have Hourglass components on both Lilia and Victor, though, so they're going to be difficult to be dove.
Yeah, Drakar moving forward, looking for something, is getting knocked up by Jeremy. His Janna is, in fact, cracked. But they are able to find the play onto Omar. Omar needs to burn Zonia's, and Rat in big trouble. Drakar taking all the damage from Archived. Rat somehow dodges out on all of it. Now they've used the double invulnerable. I think you just have to try and dive now, or just accept the fact that you've used both your key ultimates, and you just have to walk out.
They do still have the Baron, so they are confident to keep going. Albert has sleep, but he's very low health. You know, 17-17 at 28 minutes. I mean, this is a very close game still. I mean, we're 1 or 2 good, like, clean team fights from either side to just taking this one. Yeah, and Albert did use his Hourglass component last fight, or excuse me, Omar used his Hourglass component last fight, but he has completed the Hourglass now, so he will have that again. Getting a lot of value as well out of Brian's ultimates this game.
Yeah, and Rat shouting out Jeremy in the chat. I agree. I think Jeremy's had a really good series so far. It's nice to see teams appreciating players on the other teams.
Certainly. Yeah, Jeremy is definitely one of the best support players in this server when it comes to playing these enchanters. I mean, I feel like that's really his comfort and really only thing we ever see him play, but it makes sense because he is just so good at it. Whether it's the Lulu, whether it's the Janna, always seems to have really strong performances on them.
Yeah, Drakar's 1 point off of his next breakpoint and finds the play onto Lilia here, but does
Oh,
not
that's
realize his
big
eye is in the bush and
damage.
almost dies. He's going to have to use his ultimate, or not. He doesn't even have it. And he's
Oh,
able to dash in and find a kill, and he's able to go 1-for-1, but Rat could be in trouble here and is just going to get taunted, and I think he's going to end up dying, but Paul, trying to get in range, is going to get the ultimate down on him, and Rat might be able to get out with another hook shot, but Jim in the middle of this fight, it's a 4v4, and Omar's dishing so much damage out so far.
Omar
But
still
Jim
has ult.
is so
Omar still
hard
has
to kill.
ult.
He's so tanky. And Jim dashing back in, able to find a double taunt, and he gets a lot of damage here, but I think he's going to end up dying, but no, has the flash to get himself out. And Alec just fishing for plays with the QW on the affiliate, or on the Hui, and not able to find it though. The dragon is up, and this would be Soul for Inferno. Rat is
still has
rejoining the fight.
ultimate
He
on
has
the
a flank
Lilia.
TP though, and I think Lily is low enough health that Camille could take it down.
Double
And another
flank.
TP coming out from Jim, and Albert's about to just die to the dragon. They're able to find a kill into Paul. This fight is so close. Rat dashing in. I think he should be able to finish off Albert, but Albert's so fast on the Lilia, and he's able to secure the soul for his team, but Rat's able to pick him up anyway. Brian trying to get out here, and I think he might be successful, but gets hit by the Hui ability and is just going to get taken down by Rat, I think, or maybe Jim is going to pick it up. So this is 2 kills going over to Inferno after that initial fight in exchange for soul.
Yeah, I mean, you grab the soul there. That is freaking awesome for the side of Inferno. Team fight was insanely close. Really exciting double TP flank there to kind of get themselves back into that fight. And yes, you don't get the dragon, but you do pick up 2 kills, and we'll see what they can get up the push. I will say the one thing that disappoints me in that fight, Albert held his ultimate the entire time. I think he was kind of waiting to find that big multi-man ult when it felt like maybe you just use it on someone you can get it on to convert another kill. But
Yeah, did
overall,
he have it
you
up
get the
the
dragon.
entire time?
I think so. I think he
Okay.
did. But
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it came up later in the fight, so I didn't want to say anything, but
it I think he was just waiting to try to find that big ultimate onto the carries because he didn't want to like solo ult a frontline member, but with the way these fights are playing out, that might be enough. So hopefully we can see another good team fight as we're setting up for it. 2019, still super, super close game. Baron up in a minute.
Jakar-
We'll see what happens around there.
yeah, Jakar critically was able to hit the 7 mark breakpoint, which does mean that the rest of his jungle camp marks are going to be spawning on epic monsters only, so he's not going to have to try and do any weird jungle invading, and he is a quite strong champion at this point, not anything ridiculous. I think if he's able to hit 10, then it should just be GG's. I feel like that champion can get very strong. He did end up buying the QSS, I think, for the Lilia. Albert's been a huge pain in his ass this entire game, but as is happening, there has been a big fight, and Brad has now hit the point where he's completely outscaled the Shen. He really thinks that Bush is a wall. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but he is going to use the ultimate, and I think he's finally going to get the takedown here, or it's going to go over to Alec instead.
Yeah, this is the point of the game where Shen cannot match the Camille in the side lane. You do just get ran down.
Yeah, the Nash is up. I think there is an angle for them to look at it, but Albert finding the connection onto Alec, taking about 500 of his health away with 1 bowling ball.
Yeah, Kindred level 17 right now. Very, very strong in this game. Rats hit the level 18.
Yeah, once Camille hits 20, it's going to be really hard for anybody to deal with her. The extra level scaling on her abilities is a little good.
Yeah, I believe Camille's
Albert
also
is on
going
vision
for...
here, though, and Rat chooses not to go in. Does fake it.
Yep. I do think Camille's going for that 4th item, Guardian Angel, as well, which as soon as she gets that completed, man, it's going to be hard to kill her.
Or he's like based and he's going for IE or Bloodthirster.
I would hope so, but we'll see. You do have your 3 items on Xayah. Omar's getting very close to the Void Staff. That should help you punch through the Galio a little bit better.
Okay, I was actually incorrect. That I wonder if they changed Kindred marks. Maybe it's once you get 8, they start spawning on. I think it's 8. That's my bad. So he was able to get up to his 8th one off the blue buff there.
Okay. Very, very strong. Baron is up.
Was that me?
I think it's a
Camille will
little
melt
hard for them to
turrets.
threaten it. Oh, Drakkar is tagged here. Has the QSS if he needs it.
Camille's kind of on the flank here, but
He's
kind
out by
of walking
himself,
into a
though.
team.
No one else is there. Galio is not in range. He's on the opposite side of the map, so Rat's just going to try and have to take the out here. Kindred is joining into the fight, but Rat's just getting bursted here. Drakkar is able to drop the ultimate to keep him alive a little bit, but Drakkar falling down to basically the kill threshold as well, and he has to go over the wall. I think the bowling ball just connected on him, and Rat is going to be taken down, and yeah, Lilia gets the kill onto Drakkar as well, and Jim had just committed to this fight. He teleported in to try and help out, and this is a 3v5, and it's not looking like it's going to go well for Inferno, but huge Taric ultimate comes out, keeps them alive enough for Alec to get the kill, and now they are going to even it back out. I think this is going to be 2 kills going either way. If they're able to find snipes onto the other members of Inferno, this could be really big.
Yeah, it looked like a good chase down, but even though Albert got the 3-man sleep, Paul again timed the Taric ultimate beautifully, and at the same time, Alex, just you're in that choke point. It's so hard to walk into a Hui, and that AoE damage just completely stuffed any follow-up on Albert's sleep. And what looked like it was going to be an amazing play for Inferno ends up kind of being an even play.
All right, I guess the League wiki lied to me about how Kindred stacks worked back when I read it when she came out. But
Who knows?
or maybe Rat doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I mean, this bush.
Yeah, I will say though, I
could be right still.
My complaint with the Inferno comp that's starting to kind of come to fruition is they don't have a ton of dive engage themselves. It's so hard to ever reach the way. I'm not sure how you get to him without having to walk through his spells and just taking all your health bar.
Yeah, when the other team dives into them, they're really good at being able to play it out, but you're kind of reliant on the Shen to engage or Lilia to hit a multi-man sleep. So when that doesn't happen, you just kind of have to play it out. I think if they're able to just kind of chill out and stay in place, I think it might end up going better for them, but
we're just starting the Nash right now.
Into the way, it's tough, and especially situations like this where QC's already set up, they are kind of forced to chase into them. Drakkar is falling pretty low off of this, but they do have Taric on their team, and I don't think there's any vision of this. This is just going to be a complete sneak. And I think they're going to get the Nash and then run down. Alec taking a base, though, has TP, as does Rat, but the Elder's down to about 50% HP already, and Drakkar is not in the area. He's trying to get there, but he's a little out of range, and I think Inferno just needs to burn the dragon. They haven't got enough. Taunt comes out, though, and he gets knocked away from the dragon. That's Elder over to Inferno, and they just need to run away. Flash coming out from Paul immediately, and the bowling ball hits, and Inferno chooses to not chase. I guess they learned their lesson after the last fight, but it seems like you might want to try it with Elder up.
Yeah, didn't feel like they could get a chase there, but really nice taunt there by Brian prevented Drakkar from being able to get into the pit and try to look for a steal. This is an excellent game.
Yeah, the combo of Brian and Jeremy just keeping him out was really well played. I thought maybe they just, maybe they were just thinking that they could sneak the Kindred down fast enough, or that they'd have enough damage to deal to kill the Baron a little faster.
Yeah, I think
either
they
way,
thought they'd get
quite
there.
Work out,
yeah,
though.
Good. Yeah, but see now, as we just said though, there's not a ton of engage on this Inferno comp, so I don't think it's going to be too difficult for QC to just wait out the Elder.
Yeah,
yes, it's kind of eating into your Baron time, but I'm not sure how you force the fight if you're QC, like right there. I don't know, maybe Archive should have tried to kind of fight Rat right there while you have the Elder active, but we'll see if they can do anything with it.
I think it's going to be very hard to get stuff done with the Elder, but I think it is going to balance out the Nash waves. I don't think they're going to get too many towers off this push, so it is kind of just even. I think Kindred is going to benefit from having taken the Nash. Has hit 10 stacks at this point, so Kindred is going to be absolutely annoying to deal with. Now has 4 items completed, so it's a little gross.
Yeah, I mean, Kindred is insanely strong at this point of the game.
Hey, I mean, Victor has the ultimate that can cover the entire map, so he's pretty good too. Maybe even better.
Certainly. We will see.
This game is super balanced. I think Inferno actually does still have an advantage here in terms of effective stats. Unfortunately for them, it is Chemsoul, which I think diminishes that a little bit. If they're able to continue pressuring Elders and getting those, I think they are in the favorable position. Just as we've talked about, their composition is not as good, so it is going to be a little hard. And I think Shen is the only champion in this game who's really fallen off. I think everyone else is scaling, so it's kind of like a 5v4.5. If
Yeah,
you take that logic, but
Shen has opted for 3 support items, so really individually not that strong, but still has a lot of value if he can find taunts. The W can still tank a lot of damage, and then obviously the ultimate is nice.
yeah, I mean, I think it's all kind of up to Albert to get really good sleeps, and if Shen's able to provide enough support along with the Janna for Omar and Archive to put down damage, I think they're set up pretty well. It's just going to be a little hard to do that. You have to play it perfectly, especially with all that damage potentially going into Kindred ults and Taric ultimates. It's a little hard. Rat has hit level 20, and Brian just sitting at level 18.
Yeah, Rat level 20 has the Guardian Angel. Going to be super hard to knock him down.
When Rat going in for a trade here, the Elder has expired, so it's a little doable. Not super ideal. He might just try and get the tower out from under Shen's nose once the wave's pushed in. But Shen doing a good job of keeping the wave off the tower.
Not able to get in there and get a hit, though.
Yeah. He just wants to get the cross. Brian doing a really good job of stopping him from achieving that, though.
Yeah, because he has to be careful. If he walks under the tower to hit it, he can always get taunted, and he doesn't know if there's someone like behind Brian that's waiting right out of view. Got to be careful not to get taunted under turret.
But he is going to get hit by the bowling ball. He might, yeah, he's probably just going to have to QSS that. But I think Albert losing that ultimate could be a big deal. It's not going to be up super soon. 65-second cooldown. Rat was able to get the tower while we panned away and is now looking for it, but the teleport is coming through from Omar to kind of stop this play. And now it is 5 people running at 2 from QC, but Lilia ultimate not available, so it is hard to pressure this, and I think Jim's going to get to eat some crust on the top lane. Yeah, half that turret just gone.
Yeah, they're kind of just getting ran around the map right now. Just like we've said, you don't have the snapping gauge to really be able to force a fight. So we're probably just going to be setting up for another fight at these objectives. Baron spawning in 1 minute and 5 seconds. Elder about
Brian getting a taunt down on the Rat, but almost just gets traded on top of it. And Rat looking for the kill anyway, has the GA available. And I think Rat could be in a bit of trouble, but he's so fast. It's so hard for them to catch it. And now Drakkar entering the back of the fight, almost finding the kill onto Jeremy. His Q not actually targeting onto it, but he's able to find the kill onto Brian. And now he's found 2. He's flashing forward. It should be able to find a 3rd. That is a triple kill for Drakkar. The Kindred has really, truly come online. I think he's now going to be at 11 stacks. Nope, had none of the 3 of them marked, so he's still at 10.
They might be able to look for an end here. I know they don't have Baron, but
yeah, I mean, their siege is so well. The range on Kindred is disgusting. It makes it so easy to take towers down, especially when you're at 10 marks.
You still have the ultimates as well.
And unfortunately, they just overchase for Rat. Camille is just way too fast for them to catch up. And Albert now falling down. Does have the ultimate available, but it's going to be so hard for him to find it. He hits it onto 4, but he doesn't get the ultimate off in time. And that is just going to be the game. Well fought by Alvis Inferno in this game, but
extremely well fought. I think they got outscaled a tad bit at the end of the game, but extremely well played. I do want to give a lot of credit to QC, though. They got behind a fair amount, but they really fought it back as soon as they started fighting around Jim. 1-1-18 on the Galio, super impressive scoreline. I think he really stabilized for them in that mid game, and it allowed Kindred, allowed Alec, and allowed the Camille to scale. So, but overall, just a really nice 2-0 from QC, and they're the Frostbite winners. Congrats to them.
Yep, able to repeat their title coming from the Season 10 dub. But yeah, so now that we have seen the results of the tournament, all proceeds from this tournament will be going to the ASPCA. So that is 871, and I will be doing my donation at a later time just so I don't PayPal deduct my own donation, but I'll be posting receipts and announcements, so don't think I'm scamming or anything. And I will be trying to donation match my personal donation through my company. So I think that should put us at 1271.67. Unless anyone else wants to donate anything else, I'll leave the stream open for another couple minutes or so. I'll cut it off at the 3 hour mark, which is in a minute and a half, if anyone else has any more that they'd like to put through. But otherwise, thanks for all the support. And if you'd still like to donate, or if you have anyone else asking how to donate, just let them know they can still use the tip jar. I'm going to keep that open until Sunday, and anything else I get, I will make sure to donate. But feel free to donate to any of the other charities we featured. I will post a full link of the charities people chose to support in announcements if anyone else wants to donate to any other specific charity and would prefer not to donate to the one that won. Or if you just want to make a personal donation to the ASPCA and not do it through the Frostbite fundraiser, that would be great as well. Anything you do is to support the cause. But yeah, congrats to QC. They dropped one game and then proceeded to win 5 straight after that. Really well played by them. But yeah, good tournament. Congrats to Inferno as well for making it to finals. A little sad that they beat us, but I'm happy for them. And thanks to all the teams for picking charities, showing up, getting their games played, and making this super easy to run from my end. We had some lateness and everything, but honestly, not too bad. We've had tournaments that have gone much worse, so definitely appreciate it from everybody. And thank you so much to Brewer for co-casting 2 days, Alec for co-casting on Tuesday, and Noam for casting yesterday. And I think on that note, we will see you for the regular season of Scrim Zone.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Dean, for putting this together.
Thank you. All right. Peace.